Jeez. I know. I've been gone for a week. Install, though. So that I can get started. It would be great. No. Okay. 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 Try and get this to sync up correctly now. No, you have to reconnect yourself. Okay, whatever. Can't spell. That's great. We love that. Okay. Boop. You were first, yeah. Hello. Hi, Dark Eagle. Vacation was fun. Glad to be back, though. You're in competition with yourself. I relate to that, Audie. I'm not competing against anybody else, just me. Mia! Hi, Lynatti. Yep, Return of the Monty. Exactly, Manny got what I was doing. Go do a check-in. Go do your things. I did. I'm still tired, though. Guys, let's start tapping that screen, please. Let's get going here. Aw, Viper, so mad. Let's start tapping, guys. What are we doing? We're not even at 1,000 yet. Let's go. What are we doing? I know. Wake it up. A bitch is back. Let's go. Come on. You're looking for recipes? Amber, please. I have to tap in this TikTok live, so I'm just gonna need a minute. What are you cooking, monster? Swiss, this flag, is from the planet of Pansexuala. So that's what that flag is. Good morning. Only morning, because I started early. I'm going to have to get used to that still for the days that I start early. But good morning, everybody. I am back. Hello. Yes, I did have fun on vacation with me and the kids. I hate flying. That has not changed. I just want you to know that the more you fly doesn't make it any better. And if you've ever flown into Denver when you're coming back home, I thought it was the end. So that's always fun. But take me back to the beach anytime. Sparky, thank you so much for all of the advice and suggestions of places to go and visit. I know we didn't hit anywhere near what you sent because we did the zoo and we were tired and that was it. And we did the beach and we were tired and that was it. But I thank you so much. And it was lovely meeting you. I am again sorry, but I'm not sorry at the same time that I gave you the look of every woman when a man approaches her. But I love you so much, Sparky. Thank you so much for everything. I appreciate it. I would have rather flown instead of drive. I would have rather drive. But good morning to everybody. I appreciate you guys being here. If we could get us started today, if you're watching over here on TikTok, let's tap that screen, please. Let's try to get to 50,000 likes before the first hour. I know you guys can hit 100,000 likes an hour, so let's start working on that, please. I would appreciate it. Share the live out. Let's repost it before I start playing videos or showing articles, because TikTok tends not to like that. So let's repost now, please. Repost it. You can add it to your story. You can share it to like 5 of your friends. Make sure we're getting those shares up and get this out here as we come back, because my algorithm's probably going to be a little funky now that I was gone for a week. So let's make sure we're working on that. I have the little roses goal up here. Let's make sure we're getting those accomplished. You guys know that I tend to do little goals, so they shouldn't be too hard to get accomplished. I would appreciate, Jeep Duds. Actually, oh my God, thank you so much. We're getting it started. Thank you so much, Peter. It was actually funny. We're getting off of the plane in San Diego, and the flight attendants are like, just make sure you know it's warm here in San Diego. And I'm like, it's hotter in Colorado than it was. San Diego's weather was beautiful. Colorado was just hot as hell. It's 80 degrees already with humidity, which we don't even get humidity, so not fun. All right. As Amber has reminded, we have a gallery reset as well. I am now down to D1 again. That's what happens. That's okay, though. So if you have extra TikTok change that you would like to do to my gift gallery so we can get that going, I would appreciate it a lot so that we can work on it. I said share out the live. Yes, do your daily heart me if you have not done so. It gives you access to stickers in the chat, lots of fun ones of my face. But make sure you are doing that, joining that fan club and hitting that daily heart me. If you're watching over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button for me, please. I would appreciate it. It does help push us out onto the algorithm on shorts over there on YouTube. I would appreciate it so, so very much. You can subscribe. You can become a member. You can send jewels, and you can also send super chats. In case the chat starts going by too fast for me to be able to read, you can do that, and I will definitely read it. Even if you're insulting me, I read it. Must be nice for you. If you're watching on Twitch, hello over there. Make sure you are following me. You can also subscribe over there. If you pay for Prime, Jeff Bezos gives you 1 free Prime sub a month. Why not use it on me? That also gives you access to emotes in the chat that are similar to the stickers I have over here on TikTok. And you guys can send bits, fun things over there. All things to support me. I'm back. So A bitch needs to get paid for being back. So guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I have my 100 goal that I have every single day. I would appreciate if we could start working on that. We are crowdfunded here and we do pay for women's labor on this platform. So Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, all in the link tree in my bio. Let's start working on that. This is how I pay my bills. This is my job. And since I've been out of my job for a week, gone, it's time to start getting that up again. So let's work on that, shall we? I would appreciate it, and we can get started here. All right. Let's start with Midterm Monday. This background's not going to be on there for very, very long because there's really not much. We're getting to the end of primary season. We are getting to the end of it. So for Ballotpedia, though, we do have, today, apparently, if you're in Oregon, Waldport, there's a city council recall today. And then we have Nebraska local elections tomorrow. And we have South Carolina. We'll talk about South Carolina in a minute. South Carolina local elections tomorrow. Tomorrow as well. Okay? That's pretty much what we got until we get to next Midterm Monday, which looks like we have a little bit more going on. We're getting to the end of primary season. We are getting closer and closer to those midterms in November. So that's going to be fun for us. All right, let's change this back over, shall we? Get rid of you, put you there, get rid of you, and you're back. Cool. Let's get to some news stuff, shall we? Maybe, if I can get myself set up right. Okay. What should we talk about? Did anything happen while I was... Okay, that's the second person to ask, so I am going to address that before we get started here. I'm not going to give details. What I am going to say, Olive is no longer a part of my community. Okay? If you feel the need to reach out to her for any reason, I don't know if she reactivated her account or not. That's not my business, to be honest, but... you can reach out, but she's no longer a part of our community here on MySpace. Okay. If I have to say that a couple more times, I will, but it would be nice if we could, life happened. Yep. There was a falling out, but she's no longer a part of my community. All right. Let's get started with the news. Did anything big happen? She did not become MAGA. Well, I don't know. Anything big happened while I was gone? Oh, maybe this one happened. This one, to be fair, I was back when this happened. So, Yes, Amber, I did see that. I will hopefully get to that too as well. Senator Lindsey Graham dies at 71 after brief and sudden illness. I know we were all waiting on Mitch McConnell. He's alive. Yeah, we'll talk about that, Jeep. But not the senator we were waiting on. Not the one we were waiting on, but sure. Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican from South Carolina, who was elected to the Senate in 2002 and was a close political ally of President Donald Trump, has died. His office confirmed early Sunday. He was 71. Graham died Saturday night from a brief and sudden illness, his office said in a statement. Senator Graham's family appreciates prayers at this time and asks for privacy during this incredibly difficult period. Well, that's too bad. He lived a public life, so his death is also public. President Donald Trump led tribute Sunday to one of the greatest people and senators I've ever known, describing Graham as a true patriot in a true social post. Actually, I meant to find that because it's cute that they said it was like, let's see. They said it was like emotional or whatever. Not really. Let me see if I can find it. I should have True Social signed in here, shouldn't I? I believe I do. No, that's just you using his death for something else. Also that you can't make people do flags at half-staff. That's cute, though. Why does he post so much that I can't find the one I want? He needs to get off the internet. Get Peepaw off the internet. Hold on. If anybody has the truth he sent out about Lindsey Graham, the original one, that would be great. Because, my God. Oh, there's that one. That one's... Why do you repost your own post 500 times, too? It's insane. Oh, there it is. Found it. Okay. Sorry. I just want everybody, we're going to read this because I just want to talk about the fact that it sounds like a goddamn telegram. It sounds like a telegram. Senator Lindsey Graham, stop. One of the greatest people and senators I have ever known, stop. Is dead. Stop. He was always working, stop, and was a true American patriot, stop. Lindsey will be greatly missed, stop. Details and arrangements to follow, stop. So sad, stop. President Donald J. Trump, stop. Like, listen, look at this. President Donald Trump led Tribute Sunday to one of the greatest people and senators I have ever known. What the fuck? Is dead. He's dead. Where's the feeling? Where's the sentimental emotion? Doesn't have enough incorrect capital letters. And there's also that part. But, okay, sure. So, Lindsey Graham is dead. That was the news on that. But let's get into some history. I have a couple that I think are important to remember. Before Lindsey Graham really sold himself into MAGA, that's not who he was. Okay? This was 2015. Oh, you're not going to be able to hear it. I caught it. I caught it before I got yelled at. I caught it.
I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy. I think what you like about him, he appears to be strong when the rest of us are weak. He's a very successful businessman, and he's going to make everything great. He's going to take all the problems of the world and put them in a box and make your life better. That's what he's selling. Here's what you're buying. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who wear the uniform are fighting for. I've been in the Air Force for 33 years. I retired this June. He's the ISIL Man of the Year, by the way. He just got back from Iraq a week ago this Monday.
I know. We interviewed you live from there. You were with Senator John McCain, and you were going into Iraq to get a status report. What were they saying there about all of this?
The military leadership and the diplomatic corps. Now, we have young men and women in harm's way all over the world, particularly in the Mideast. They were concerned about this rhetoric because the enemy will use it against us. So what was a concern last week has to be DEFCON 4 this week.
Which, just remember that before his death, he was one of the biggest war hawks, saying that we should just bomb everybody. Literally, that was a quote he said. We should just bomb everybody, and we should just keep bombing Iran. Apparently, 11 years changes a person. Drinking also changes a person, but that's a different conversation.
Because what Mr. Trump is doing, and I don't think he has a clue about anything, he's just trying to get his numbers up and get the biggest reaction he can. Oh. He's putting our soldiers and diplomats at risk. He's empowering the enemy. And this ban, if it's actually enacted, would take people who have been interpreters who came to our side in Iraq and
Oh, he's talking about the Muslim ban. Oh, how much things changed, Lindsey.
Afghanistan, who are under siege in their own countries, and basically becomes a death sentence for them.
Well, it causes more radicalization, right? Which we have talked about in way of Iran. All you have now done is you have put in charge, one, a more hardline, a more right-wing, a harsher leader in the sun, and you now have an entire generation who is going to be growing up being bombed by the U.S., who are just going to become radicalized against us. That's all you've done. Jay Bunkie, I did read Hunter Biden's. It was actually very similar to, hi, Chicky. It was actually very similar to Adam Kinzinger's post about Lindsey Graham. I thought they were very nice. I know that we're not giving quarter here, but I do understand that Hunter Biden, Adam Kinzinger, knew him during a different time, right? 2015, and before that in the early 2000s. Talking about that. Well, Nick, here's the thing. You said he called Joe Biden unfit, but Biden's still moving around. There is that. But there's also video clips of Lindsey Graham saying, I don't know how you can't like Joe Biden as a person. So it is showing once again that what Trump has done is taken a Republican Party whose values I might disagree with, but he has taken them and morphed them into something else that Lindsey Graham bought hook, line, and sinker in order to keep power, because that's all that it was about for him, was being able to keep his power. And it's just gross. It is just gross that they are that way. But that was his opinion about him on foreign policy. Now, what about the fact if we go back in time to 2024? I mean, we could go all the way to 2021 with the U.S. Citizenship Act that Republicans shot down, but let's go to 2024 when we got a bipartisan. And by bipartisan, I really mean tripartisan, because the Lankford bill was put together not only by Republican Senator Lankford, it was also put together by Democrat Chris Murphy and Independent Kyrsten Sinema. They put this together. It was going to go on the floor for a vote. It was going to be passed because, hey, we put this together. It was bipartisan. And Donald Trump said, hey, don't fucking do that. I need something to run on. Let's not give Joe Biden a win, right? So if we don't remember that, it's fine. Lindsay will remind us.
And I regret that. So everybody who comes on this floor and says our border's broken, we should do something about it, you're absolutely right. And unfortunately, we didn't get there. President Trump opposed a Senate bill. We couldn't find a better way forward that would get 60 votes. I hate that, but now we have to deal with what's left for us to take care of in the world. So
now remember, part of the issue, which I love that it's on the screen, part of the issue, allegedly, with the, you guys made Ari mad, I just want you to know. Part of the issue with a couple of the border bills was there was pork in it. Mainly this amount of money in aid to Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. Anybody know what happened to this part of it that got removed from the border funding? The border funding never passed. The border bill never passed. And they did pull that funding out. What happened to that? Does anybody know? Anybody remember? The big shit that they complained about? Oh, they passed it on its own. Yes. Yes, Ari, thank you so much. They passed it on its own, but didn't pass anything for the border because Donald Trump has y'all fooled, as if he cares. Okay. Speaking of old motherfuckers that we thought were going to go, apparently Mitch McConnell's alive. I don't know. Proof of life photo. Thank you so much. What was it? I can't say it now. Thank you. I think it was Mark. Thank you, Mark. Yep, there it is. It's right there in front of my face. I'm going to be a little rusty. We're getting back into the swing. He's back, I guess. He's alive, I guess. He looks younger than the last time I saw him, I guess, except for his hands, I guess. But he also released a statement. To my fellow Kentuckians, when you elected me to a 7th term and made me our Commonwealth's longest-serving senator, you did so trusting that I'd keep showing up to fight for you every day. And over the past several weeks, Elaine and I have appreciated both your well wishes and your honest questions about what was keeping me away from the Senate. You all know how folks of my generation often hesitate to share the vulnerability that comes with growing older. Even in the public eye, I feel that same instinct. I can't help it. But at the same time, I've had more than my share of experience with physical vulnerabilities. Surviving childhood polio meant spending my entire life with mobility challenges. They haven't exactly gotten easier to manage with age. And last month I took a fall, I took a fall, which landed me in the hospital. My doctors have confirmed that I didn't break any bones or suffer a concussion. I didn't have a heart attack or a stroke. I don't have any tumors or hemorrhages, but I was briefly unconscious and was taken to the hospital. While receiving excellent care over the past several weeks, I've also had to deal with a mild case of pneumonia. I can assure you that I've been a good patient. At my age, I tend to do what my doctors tell me to do. I've submitted to every test they can think of to help figure out what caused this incident, and I'm continuing to do everything they ask to speed my recovery. In fact, with signs of continued progress, I've been able to move from hospital care to a rehabilitation center while I'll keep regaining my strength. Listen, that's great, but you kind of have a job to do. Also, yes, CPR was given. As much as it frustrates me, this process takes time. On the advice of my doctors, I won't be able to return to the Senate floor to vote quite yet. Okay. Just not. Did I wish the death of a politician, Tark? When did I do that? When did I wish for his death? I said that's the one we thought. Because he's been in the hospital and missing for like a month. When did I say that I wished he was dead? I didn't. Okay, cool. Glad that we understand words. You're right to expect your representatives to work hard for you, and part of my decision to retire at the end of my term this coming January was being honest about the demands of Senate work. But I still have unfinished business to complete on your behalf, and I have every intention of finishing the job you elected me to do. I'll keep working hard to get back on the Senate floor as soon as possible, and I'll keep you posted on the progress of my recovery. Until then, I'm so grateful for your prayers and well wishes. Also, actually, where is that? You're right. It is gross. It is gross to celebrate death. You're right, Tark. Oh, you pivoted to Biden?
What about Biden?
Because you couldn't answer the question about where I hoped he died? Because I didn't? Cool. Robert Mueller just died. Good! I'm glad he's dead. He can no longer hurt innocent people, President Donald J. Trump, and also Rob Reiner, yes. But sure, you know. Your culture, are you a gladiator? Duh. I mean, just don't come crying to me about that shit. Gift suspended and liability restricted. Why? Oh, pre-recorded or copied content. Okay, sure. Guys, make sure we are working on that goal today since we can't gift for about like 10 minutes. Can we start working on a $1 train or $2 train to get that 100 down, please? I would appreciate it. Speaking of unwell-looking people, have we seen this one? Yes, no, maybe. That hand is not looking good. Not looking good. Just observations. It's really not anything else than that. All right, now let's get to some news that we told you was coming. Some news we said was coming because it doesn't matter how many big bitch hissy fits Donald Trump has. Unless he vetoed things, they become law. I was going to sing it, Chops. Bipartisan housing bill automatically becomes law after Trump refuses to sign it. A landmark housing bill automatically became law at 12 a.m. on Saturday after President Trump declined to sign it in protest of the Senate's inaction on an elections bill known as the Save America Act. The bipartisan bill, known as the 21st Century Road to Housing Act, is the most comprehensive housing legislation in decades. The measure aims to increase housing supply and bring down costs, including by limiting institutional investors from purchasing certain single-family homes. What that means is big corporations. Big corporations. Okay? Oh, my face ain't... Oh, I'm so glad to be back. David. One, sweetheart, you hate the Constitution because Trump can't run in 2028 if he makes it that far. But I said he's not looking well, and your comeback to that was, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say, bounce off at me and sticks to you. And you said, your face ain't looking well, babe. Try again. Anyway, keeping corporations from buying up homes. This bipartisan bill is going to be beneficial for the American people, and yet Donald Trump refused to sign it out of protest, even though it doesn't matter. After 10 legislative days, it becomes law, and it did. Why? Because he didn't veto it. So, the president has been set to sign the legislation at a Capitol Hill bill signing ceremony last month, shortly after the House and Senate approved it by wide bipartisan margins. But he abruptly canceled the bill signing hours in advance and threatened not to sign the legislation until Congress approved the Save America Act. That legislation would impose new restrictions on voting and registering to vote. Now, the even funnier part about it, and I talked about this the day that he said I'm not signing it, was that although it's bipartisan, so you had the cooperation of Democrats to get this done, right? It would have been a win for Republicans. They could have ran around with it and saying, look what we did, especially before midterms, right? November is coming. Hi, Kelly. And they could have said, look, we did it as Republicans. Look what we did for the American people. Vote for us in November. And instead of doing that now, this headline about it passing got buried because Donald Trump can't do anything that's not about himself. So, congratulations, Congress, for actually doing something beneficial for the American people. You just don't get the ceremony and applause that you thought you were, and it's not going to do much of anything for you in the midterms. So, you tell Donald Trump he ruined that for you. W's to Peter for the 1353 for welcome back, Crab Queen. You know what it is. Thank you.
Oh my God, I have crabs.
I don't have to do math on that anymore because now I know. what that number is, which means we are back, and we are back with a vengeance. W's to Peter, bringing us down to 8647. We do love that number here. I wonder how that case is going with James Comey. I guess we'll keep finding out. But the housing bill became law, regardless of Donald Trump's baby bitch temper tantrum. I also wanted to show this real quick before we move on to other things. Again, can you show me where this is coming from? Trump truthed this last night. 59% approval rating, prices coming down along with the lowering of oil and gas. Thank you, President DJT. One, source, 59%. I would like to see that. 59% would be nice. I would like to see where that's coming from. Prices are coming down. No. And CPI comes out tomorrow. No. And lowering of oil and gas, that's interesting. No. His bathroom mirror. That's where the 59% is. I'm not a Democrat, David, so I don't know who you're yelling at, sweetheart. I know, but none of you will call in, though. None of you will call in, and if you call, you have to argue with factually based evidence and not your feelings. And I think that's going to be very, very difficult for you. I could see it going down a little bit, but not by much. Yeah. We see Monica just arguing with someone. I do. Why do you keep supporting this man? He's not doing anything for you. Literally, the laws that are getting passed without his help or approval. So, what are we doing here? Okay. Gonna move to, I have a small section on Iran. If anybody doesn't know, we are back to striking Iran and them striking us. They have said the strait is closed. Donald Trump says we closed the strait, even though they closed it first. Again, David, no, I would totally be open. If I was a Democrat, I would be honest about it. I'm a registered independent, sweetheart. In the state of Colorado, you can do that and still vote in the primaries. So, cool. He's not deporting illegals, though. He's actually just detaining them. I don't think you guys understand how things work. We have a mass detainment problem, which they're getting in trouble with in the courts for not allowing bond hearings past before 90 days or past 90 days. So we have a mass detainment problem, not a deportation one. Try again. Okay, let's get to Iran, though. So, is this one? Yeah. So Donald Trump spoke with Kristen Welker on Meet the Press yesterday. Okay. And she asked him whether the strait is open or closed. And he's going to say, I don't want to talk about it because my dear friend Lindsay is dead. Slumberjack, illegals do have rights like actual Americans. You are incorrect on that. Can you show me where in the Constitution it says that?
You obviously launched.
I apologize for it being fuzzy. I do not know what's going on with NBC's audio lately. It's just fuzzy and buzzy and annoying, but...
A fresh round of strikes overnight. Iran said overnight the Strait of Hormuz is closed. CENTCOM came out this morning and said the Strait of Hormuz is open. Which is it, Mr. President, and how are you going to respond?
And I don't want to talk about it because I want to honor the life of Lindsey Graham, so I don't want to talk about it. I told you that before the call.
Yeah.
It's open. We bombed the hell out of them last night. They're very, very evil and sick people. We had meetings with them they agreed to a deal yesterday, a perfect deal for us. No nuclear, no this, no that, no nothing. They gave up everything.
No, there was no deal like that. If you guys read the 14 points of the MOU, didn't say that. I don't want to talk about it, so I'll keep talking about it. But the only people who were saying that we had a deal with them about inspections and no nuclear weapons at all, no nuclear at all, was Trump and his cabinet. And yet there was no proof of that. Iran kept refuting that.
And then after that, they left the room. And then within an hour, they launched a drone at a ship. I said, you people are sick. You're sick people. And so it's one of those things. I don't want to talk about it.
Finally, before I let you go.
I want to talk about one person today, Lindsey Graham.
Iran is sick people, but he threatened to destroy an entire civilization overnight. Sure. Hi, Mia.
Happy Pride 2.0 because we're blocking the straits.
Pansexuala
And
is
welcome
partying.
back.
Let's dance. Let's dance.
Yes. I'm so excited. I just wanted to piss off YouTube. But hi, everyone. Make sure you're tapping and showing Monty all the love. We've missed her so much. I saw y'all little creepers going around in the comments like, where's Monty? We miss her. We don't have anywhere to go. We were all orphans. Oh my gosh. Back to this. Ah!
That motherhood be mothering. I know. The amount of times this summer that I have said, just stay away from each other. Can't even talk about it. Try pronouncing Iran correct. Why you are not Persian. I'm not Persian, but it is a Persian word. So I said it like Iran. And I have discussed this many, many times. One, it's actually easier. It feels better on my mouth to say it that way. And two, it pisses you off. Okay. But he didn't want to talk about it. Now he wants to talk about it while he was talking to Fox this morning. So here we go.
We hit them very hard last night. Every time they send a drone, we hit them very hard. But we had a deal. What nobody knows, we had a deal. It was a done deal. And then they broke it. They always break it. We've had 10 deals with these.
By the way, they have said that we broke it and that Israel broke it by continuing to occupy and attack Lebanon, which was part of the MOU that they signed. Okay?
People. And so we're just going to hit them very hard. And we're gonna keep the strait, and we'll probably run it. We'll become the guardian of the strait. Maybe we'll call it the guardian angel of the strait. And we should be reimbursed for that. When we do that, we're going to be reimbursed because
we're going to be the guardian of the strait, and we're going to be reimbursed for that. How?
other nations are very wealthy. They're on our side. And we can't be expected to do that for nothing, unlike we had for many years. You know, we guarded the strait for 50 years more, and we never got paid for it.
We didn't guard it. It was just open. We didn't guard it.
They made all the money, and the United States was just, not. They wouldn't. It's amazing. It's we never made. We guarded it for nothing, and now we're going to guard it. And we're going to get paid for guarding it. A lot of money.
Chris, angels get reimbursed? Yeah, I didn't think angels were guardian angels with the promise of something.
But we.
Oh, I know, Ari. I have the truth. Hold on, yeah.
Just want to be reimbursed for doing all of this, for putting our people in danger. But we're.
Who put our people in danger? Who did that? Who put our fucking people in danger? Because the strait was open and we were not having our bases attacked before February 28th. Who fucking did that? Who did that? Oh, Donald Trump did that.
Really not putting people, we're really saving people.
We're saving people by threatening to bomb their desalination tanks, by threatening to bomb their bridges, by actually double tapping schools with children in it. Yeah, totally. We're totally saving people. Yeah, that's absolutely happening. All right. The Hormuz Strait is open and will remain open with or without Iran. We are reinstating the Iranian blockade, so named because it is only stopping Iran's ships or customers from entering or leaving. All other countries will have fair and open use of the strait. The USA will be, from this point forward, known as the guardian of the Hormuz Strait. But as such, and as a matter of fairness, will be reimbursed at the rate of 20% on all cargo shipped for any and all costs necessary to do the job of providing safety and security to this very volatile section of the world. The process and formation will begin immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Now, I remember Donald Trump, I remember J.D. Vance, and I remember Marco Rubio specifically talking about the fact that they were very upset about something that Iran allegedly wanted to do. What was that? Do we remember? David, Iran didn't have nukes, so no, I wouldn't be upset because they don't have the capability to nuke anyone. So cry harder, bitch. What were we very upset about? Our administration was very, very upset that Iran wanted to do. Pay the toll. They wanted to charge a toll. They can't do that, they said. We're going to keep bombing them because they can't do that. But now it's okay because Donald Trump wants to do it. What did Marco Rubio have to say about that a month ago? Let's see.
Allies, can they guarantee navigation, freedom of navigation in the state?
Well, that's the law. It's an international waterway. No country is allowed to charge tolls or fees on an international waterway.
Oh, what? Can you repeat that so that Donald Trump can hear it, please?
Allies, can they guarantee navigation, freedom of navigation in the state?
Well, that's the law. It's an international waterway. No country is allowed to charge tolls or fees on an international waterway. That's existing international law. That's the way it is in international waterways all over the world, and that's the way we expect it'll be here. So I don't think we have anybody to convince around here in that regard. I think all the countries in this region would agree with us.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely, Audie. So it's against the law to charge tolls in international waterways, the Strait of Hormuz being an international waterway. So all of you MAGA up here like, it's power and we have the big stick, we're not scared. You're fine with breaking the law. We know this. We're very aware. You hate the fucking Constitution. You hate laws. We know. But just stop saying you're the law and order party. Can you just stop lying to yourself? Because you're not lying to me. You're lying to yourself. Okay? Okay. Glad that we could get there with that. That one's not, kind of. Here, let me send these because I'll forget. So I'm going to send them now. Okay. And then Trump has to do what he always does because he lives rent-free in his head. Obama. Is talk about Obama.
If you look for 47 years, they've been tapping people along presidents. Every president got...
What part of the Constitution has been ignored? All the parts that he just got walloped on in the Supreme Court. How about that one? I know it's low. I keep trying to turn the damn up, but it's whatever Fox News' audio is terrible.
If you look for 47 years, they've been tapping people along presidents. Every president got tapped along, didn't do anything, and they became more and more powerful. This should have been done 47 years ago. Shouldn't have been allowed to start. But Clinton let him go, and Bush let him go. Everybody let him go, and Obama...
What did Trump do in his first term about Iran? Did he let him go?
Obama was the worst of all because Obama actually went to their side. Obama, because, you know, he's a...
David, I do know what I'm talking about, and if you would like to say that I don't, can you please use the correct use of your next time? That would be great.
Let's not say. Let's not say. Let's leave that for another time. He was terrible, and he allowed them.
He's trying to insinuate something here.
47 years ago, shouldn't have been allowed to start. But Clinton let him go, and Bush let him go. Everybody let him go, and Obama was the worst of all because Obama actually went to their side. Obama, because, you know, he's a... Well, let's not say. Let's...
What's he trying to allude to, do you think? What's he trying to say? The 14th, the 1st, the 2nd in his first term. The 5th. We might have some conversations about the 8th, to be honest, with a lot of these cases. Yeah, that Obama is a Muslim when he's not. We're going back to birtherism. We are going all the way back, circa 2009, 2010. That's what Donald Trump is doing.
Let's not say. Let's leave that for another time. He was terrible.
How? Well, did you not see the most recent SCOTUS ruling on the 14th, sweetie? Oh, you should try.
And he allowed them. He allowed Iran to, but he gave them
Obama is a Muslim. Prove it.
$1.7 billion in cash, in green cash, put in satchels.
I don't listen to CNN, actually, David.
An airplane.
I read the case. Explain it? Would you like me to explain it? Actually. Okay, cool. Just a second.
$1.7 billion. Do you know what that is? Did you ever see $1 million in cash? This is $1.7 billion. It took up an entire Boeing 757, and they flew it to Tehran, and they gave it to people that were waiting at a plane. Can you imagine? If you look...
Cool. Thanks, Trump, for your rambling. All right, Trump v. Barbara. Did you know that that's the name of the case? Did you know that? There's 2 different Davids, Amber. That's what's even worse. The question presented is whether the Constitution guarantees citizenship to children born in the United States of parents who are unlawfully or temporarily present in the country. Under the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. On January 20th, 2025, President Trump issued Executive Order number 14160 titled Protecting the Meaning of Value in American Citizenship. The order provides that children born in the United States of parents who are unlawfully or temporarily present here are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and thus do not qualify for citizenship under the 14th Amendment or the Immigration and Nationality Act, INA, which uses the same language. 90 Fed Reg 8449. Several parents filed suit, some in the name of their children, arguing that the executive order violates the 14th Amendment and the INA. The district court agreed, provisionally certified a nationwide class of children who would be denied citizenship by the order and preliminary enjoined the order's enforcement. This court granted, I never say it right, certiorari, I know it's like an SH sound, but before judgment. Ready? This is their decision. That's what held means. This is their decision per SCOTUS. Children born in the United States to parents unlawfully or temporarily present are subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and are citizens at birth under the 14th Amendment Citizenship Clause. The Citizenship Clause must be understood in light of its historical context from the English common law to the widespread condemnation of the court's decision in Dred v. Scott v. Sandford. Okay? Under the English common law, children born within the sovereign's dominions owed a natural allegiance to the sovereign who protected them at birth. Where is one of my favorites? So they did violate it. His EO did violate the 14th Amendment. That's what SCOTUS ruled. Certiorari. Sure. Where was one of my favorite parts? It was, what was the term they used? It's like let's see. It was like reimagining, but it wasn't exactly reimagining. What the fuck was the term that I used? You know what? We'll do a shameless plug. Fuck it.
This person would like to know why.
Fuck it. The Supreme Court has just affirmed a Citizen 94-page opinion, the concurring view rendered by Chief Justice John Roberts. One of my favorite parts is them admonishing the Trump administration's view on limitations of birth. Revisionist. Dramatically revisionist. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
My age is 18. My state is Ohio, and I didn't vote because I wasn't old enough.
Yeah, you weren't old enough to. Do you support Trump?
Yep.
Okay. Why?
Because he's anti-abortion.
Is he? Based on what?
He's like making efforts to defund Planned Parenthood.
I already talked to you about this, and the court already ruled that Planned Parenthood's funding is reinstated. We fucking talked about this, and that has nothing to do with Donald Trump and everything to do with Congress. That's what I fucking thought. I didn't hang up on him, by the way. He hung up on himself. I think I didn't recognize your whiny little voice. By the way, whatever fucking Reddit or Discord thread server that you fucking random 18, 19-year-old incels crawled out of, go back. Listen, I've said it a million times. If you don't believe in abortions, that's great. Good for you. Go find a bitch who also doesn't believe in abortion and have a baby with her. But leave the rest of us fucking out of it. Okay? Okay. Now that I've found that. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Cool. So, let me find it on the actual page. There is scant evidence for this dramatically revisionist view in regards to allegiance of birth. So the arguments for limiting birthright citizenship to those domiciled in the United States failed. So, violated the 14th, like I fucking said. I don't watch CNN. I read the fucking cases. I listen to the oral arguments. You. Not smart person. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be nice. All right. So, let's put a little bit of a funny in here real quick before we move on. Apparently, it's been 2 years since he was shot. So, they asked him about it.
They saw what was happening. Everybody saw it very quickly. I knew exactly what was happening. There was nothing.
You knew exactly what was happening? Really?
I mean, it was amazing how I understood exactly. And I knew it was the ear. They thought it was all over because the ear bleeds.
I knew it was the ear. How'd you know that?
Some little fact. You'll ask your doctor who's fantastic, by the way, just gave the report on Lindsay. He's such a great guy and such a great doctor. But you'll ask him, it has to do with...
Yeah, apparently the same doctor who treated his ear, I guess.
Cartilage. The ear bleeds more than any, so I got hit in the ear, and it was a bloody mess. But I knew I only got hit there, and they thought I got hit at many different locations because of the blood, the amount of blood.
Look at the Republican states, Gabriel.
And, they blew it. They blew it because of the one thing. After that, they were incredible. They were very brave. They stood over, and our shooter, our sniper from very far away, he was on the other side of a field. He hit one shot, one bullet, and it was over. They saw what was happening.
Uh-huh. But that's not the funny part. That's just self-incriminating. The funny part is Ainsley's dumbass.
Right, Ainsley?
Well, we have you covered in prayer. I'll say that.
Right,
Most of America's praying for you. God
No, they're not.
Clearly has a purpose for you. Look at George Washington, too. He was shot out. But how are you feeling?
What? I'm sorry, what was that?
For you. God clearly has a purpose for you. Look at George Washington, too. He was shot out. But how are you feeling?
George Washington was shot up? When? What? Hello? Yes, my face is funny. I have a very expressive face. George Washington was never shot on any battlefield ever, and not during his time serving as president.
Okay, can you replay when he said, I swear he said,
shooter?
Okay.
He said our shooter, but he was talking about the sniper.
Okay.
I mean, James, if she meant Lincoln, then he'd be dead. So, I'm just saying they're not very smart people. They're just not very smart people.
Like, the way he just said our shooter and then our sniper, just...
I think to be fair, I don't think he meant Crooks. I think he meant the sniper. He just sucks with his fucking words and stumbles over his fucking words. But my thing is the fact that he sat there and said, I knew it was the ear and I knew what was happening.
Yeah, that one's weird too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, while we're sitting here, we're at 59,000 likes, and I know we should be doing way better than that. I know I came on early, and I know that there are men on, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be doing the things that we should be doing. So let's make sure that we are tapping that screen, please, that we are sharing the live out. We're only at 48 shares. We can definitely do better than that, and I know we can do better than that. If you're watching over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up because you're all a bunch of cowards, and apparently the only person who has the cojones to talk to me is an 18-year-old I've spoken to 3 different times. So maybe get better information, get better factual information, you can actually call and have a conversation. So if you hit that thumbs up, maybe we can get some of your brethren who are braver than you. But, just a thought. Guys, I also have 8647 left in my goal. Let's start working on that, please. I am back, which means I need to get paid for my labor. So, $1 train, $2 train, $5 train. We can do that to Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link tree in my bio. We also have the little good job thumbs ups that we have not completed yet. I don't know what we're doing, but we need to be getting back on it and supporting. Okay? We need to be doing that. Okay, where do I want to move to?
I just want to highlight a beautiful comment. Actually, a beautiful question. It's a very great question. Danomaly said, I thought he was shot after leaving the airport during the Revolutionary War. And And with that, I will say, did you know that Lindsey Graham died?
Did we know that? You leaving after that? Dark Eagle, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. You said for the goal. The only thing I will say, as much as I appreciate, can't speak. As much as I appreciate super chats, I don't get paid for those until way later at the end of the month. So they don't go towards my daily goal, but they are appreciated towards like my monthly goals that I have for myself. So thank you so much. W's, I still want to see W's though, because that is still supporting me. And so we appreciate the people who do that. So huge W's to Dark Eagle. I would appreciate it. Let's see who this is. Sammy, how are you today?
I'm good. I think you're trying to just get Trump supporters. I think I might have accidentally hit the...
I am just looking for Trump supporters, but I appreciate
Yes.
you and I hope you have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you. And I enjoy your...
Oh, sorry. I thought I was going to get it later than that. Me and my trigger finger. Can I hit W's to Sammy? Can I get W's for Sammy for the support? Please. I want to see W's. For me and my damn trigger finger. I'm rusty. I know, TikTok guests, you're never sure anymore with them. Never sure. Just stopping by to tell you to enjoy burning in hell for all eternity. How many swimsuits should I bring, do you think, for hell? Like, I do like a nice bikini. I've been thinking about getting a thong one. So like, let's like Love Island it up a little bit. So at 365, one for each day. 17. Yeah, because you can rotate them, right? 0. Steve? True. I will be in hell, so I guess I can just, go bear and get it. It'll be Titty Tuesday every single day up in that bitch. Fire Island vibes is insane. All right. Let's move to, I have a little bit of stuff on the SAVE Act. This was from before I left. Him speaking on July 3rd when he was in South Dakota, talking about removing the filibuster. Steve only states facts. It's true. Yeah, I could tan without any lines. You're right. Maybe we'll go that way. Thank you so much, Charlie, for reminding us that I need to pack for hell.
We can only lose
Hi, DJ Bookie.
the midterms if we allow ourselves to lose the midterms, if we are foolish, stupid, and unwise. But if we terminate the filibuster, as we should do, and immediately vote for the Save America Act, then we will not lose.
You guys don't even understand it. You just cheer for shit that you hear. Like, you just cheer for words. You guys haven't read the Save America Act. You guys have not watched anybody who has gone through it, because the people that you watch lie to you about it and tell you that it's just a photo ID bill when it's not. Whereas people like me, Ari, Steve, we actually go through these bills and we talk to you about what's in them. We show you 20-minute committee meetings about these bills. You guys don't pay attention to them. But if Donald Trump says Save America Act, you're like, yay! That's all you are. Just sheep for what he tells you to cheer about.
An election for 100 years. We do that, we're not going to lose an election for 100 years.
It reminds me of something. There was a leader in the 1930s, I believe, and he spoke about a rule. He spoke about a government that was going to last for a long time. Does anybody remember what that was by chance? Does anybody remember? Just sounds a little familiar. No reason. Maybe the Third Reich in a 1,000-year reign. Okay. Just me? No. Okay. This is Joe Neguse. So they were talking about, again, bringing forth the Save America Act to come and fail in the Senate for the 4th fucking time. I did not see that coming. Ha ha ha. So, but first it goes to committee again before it gets brought up again. If you remember, last week and the week before I left, Mike Johnson was putting thank you so much, Sparky. Yeah. Mike Johnson was going to be putting the Save America Act in a provision for the National Defense Bill under a reconciliation package. Okay? Now, in the House, you can do that, and it can pass. But the problem is, once it goes to the Senate parliamentarian already said you cannot put the Save America Act in a reconciliation package. This made Donald Trump mad and says he wants the Senate parliamentarian fired. And the Senate and John Thune is just going, yep. Don't make eye contact with him. It's fine. No, we're totally gonna fire her. Shh, no, it's fine. Shh, don't pay attention. It's just gonna keep failing in the Senate. That's what's going to happen. But this was, from the first time it was in committee before they brought it onto the floor, and this is Joe Neguse just showing you the level of delusion that exists within the Republican Party that they then spread to you on the Save America Act and contests in general. They just don't have the votes. I know. They just don't have the votes. As we say, let's see if I can find it. I have so many sounds with me all the time.
You don't have the votes. You don't have the votes. Ha 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 ha.
Mia, they didn't have the votes when Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham were in the fucking office. If we were in charge, would you get rid of the filibuster? No. Because I don't want to give power. I don't want to have power that I know eventually will be on the other side. No. They can do it first and then reap the consequences, but no, I don't think it's a smart idea.
Do you agree that
By the way, I think it's only coming out of my left ear.
Joe Biden won Georgia? Do you agree with your colleague, Mr. Scott?
As reported, the
I don't, David. I don't want non-citizens voting, which is why that's already illegal, David.
state of Georgia cast its electoral ballots for Joe Biden.
What does that mean?
Well, we, in the House of Representatives, we witnessed the counting of the Electoral College, and the state of Georgia cast their ballots in support of Joe Biden.
Correct, and that is because he won the state of Georgia. So
It was certified under the state of Georgia. That's an accurate statement. It was certified under the state of Georgia.
And
the issue is what the bill actually is, David. Do you know? I know you don't, because you didn't know the SCOTUS cases of his violation of the Constitution, and you didn't know this either, right?
I presume you would say the same about the state of Minnesota in 2024 with respect to Kamala Harris's victory there?
That the Electoral College was counted in favor of
That Kamala Harris won the election in the state of Minnesota.
as reported from the state of Minnesota.
What is this? Why can't you just say yes? I don't understand.
I don't understand your confusion as to how the electoral.
No, actually, Bon, you are incorrect. You're saying Save America Act is an 80-20 issue. No, actually, the Save America Act does not have a poll on it specifically. What you were talking about as an 80-20 issue is voter ID. Voter ID is overwhelmingly supported. The Save America Act is not, which is why it won't pass, because the constituents do not support it. This is why I know you guys don't pay attention or read or understand. I have shown the polls multiple times because you guys keep coming up here and telling me the Save America Act is supported 80-20. It's not. Voter ID, some form of voter ID is supported 80-20. Hey, this one might rock your brain. I, just Monida, support voter ID. But if you have requirements of documents for that voter ID, which is also fine, you need to make those free. Meaning that if I have to pay for it every other time, okay. But if I have an application that I'm specifically getting these documents for my voter ID to prove my citizenship to vote, it needs to be free. Otherwise, it's a poll tax and it is unconstitutional. Okay? So if you give me a piece of legislation that is a voter ID requirement, but the documentation is given freely to those who are U.S. citizens, totally fine with it. Totally fine with it. What I am not fine with is a removal of online registration for those who need it. What I am not fine with is a removal of mail-in ballots which Donald Trump uses. What I am not fine with is having to register in person in states, which is the, again, 20-minute video I played last month talking about this, where you have places like rural Texas where your election office might be 2 hours away, 3 hours away, 5 hours away. I'm not okay with that. No. Read the damn bill. Read it.
I'm not asking about the Electoral College. I'm asking about the popular vote in these respective states.
That's how we elect the President of the United States.
Madam Chair.
I'm confused about why you keep pursuing this when you're getting an answer from these people telling you
I am not getting an answer.
The elections were certified.
Madam.
Right. The problem is when we ask you if Donald Trump won the 2024 election, you guys say, yeah. You don't say he was certified because that's silly. But for some reason, when it comes to 2020, the answer changes.
That should be adequate.
Number one, Madam Chair, the time belongs to the Speaker.
I understand.
And
You're lying. Every city has a post office or a DMV where you have to go to get a photo ID so you can buy cigarettes, fly, get EBT, rent an apartment, buy a house. I said election office, didn't I? Didn't I, Christopher? I didn't say DMV, did I? I said election office, didn't I? Because that's what the bill says. The bill doesn't say register at your local DMV. The bill says at your local election office. Read the goddamn bill.
I'm happy to ask you the question. I'm happy to ask any Republican on this panel. I think the only person on the panel that will answer the question honestly is Mr. Scott from Georgia. If I ask anyone on the panel whether or not a particular candidate won the popular vote in a particular state, I get the same gobbledygook answers of various sequiturs as reported, as the Electoral College certified in the House of Representatives. I'm not asking that. I'm asking who won the state of Wisconsin, who won the state of Minnesota. If I go out and ask a citizen on the street who won Minnesota in 2024, every single one of them will say Kamala Harris won. The only people who equivocate are Republican politicians in this committee. That's a fact. We all know it. But in any event, I will agree with the chairwoman that it's not worth belaboring it, because I don't think I'm going to get a different answer out of Mr. Stile. Now, I go through 50 states, and you'll answer it the same way. Who won the state of Arkansas in 2024, Mr. Morelli?
State of Arkansas?
Yes.
In 2024?
Yes.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump won the state of Arkansas. Not as reported and as certified by the Electoral College. He won the state of Arkansas. Mr. Stile, do you disagree? Who won the state of Arkansas in 2024?
I mean, I think we've made it pretty clear that we count. I think there was confusion maybe in your question.
Like 20-word
the
answers.
Electoral College
Who won?
determines who's the President of the United States. The Electoral College has been reported in the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
I don't think it's terribly confusing.
Okay.
See, David Amalia, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm playing this video. Because you are unwell. It has been 6 fucking years without any piece of evidence. Nothing. By the way, don't know if you know, the term we use during contests, TikTok, please be nice to me today. The term we use during contests is projected winner. Projected. What does projected mean? You know what? Let's do it together. What does projected mean? Projected primarily means estimated, planned for the future or extending outward. Projected, meaning that a majority of the ballots coming in are trending in a way that they will not be made up, and thus the projected winner, because that trend will most likely continue, was Joe Biden in 2020. Doesn't mean they stopped counting, sweetheart. They continued to count. Don't know if you know this. Hi, I'm in Colorado. Phil Weiser was the projected winner of the gubernatorial race that night. Why? Because the trend of the votes coming in was so enormous that Michael Bennet was not going to be able to make them up with the counties that had already been counted versus the counties that still needed to be counted. However, they continued to count the votes. Phil Weiser still won. Did you know that in the GOP gubernatorial race in Colorado against Barbara Kirkmeyer and Victor Marks, because Scott Bottoms was down in third and was going nowhere, that it was too close to call? And it was too close to call, and it was too close to call, and it was too close to call. I think it was too close to call while I was on vacation until about, Thursday, Friday? when they finally said that Victor Marx is the projected winner of the GOP gubernatorial primary? Did you know that? Did you know that they were still counting votes? Did you know that? Hi, Ari.
I know nothing. I'm kidding. Hey, I know you don't normally do breaking news, but I wanted to share this real quick. Well, no, it's actually, I mean, it's good, right? Something like that. The judge reviewed Trump's case against the IRS and is referring his attorneys for disciplinary action because it was, quote, filed for an improper purpose.
Uh-oh.
AP News. I know they're gonna roll on that one, but I was like, yes, finally something.
Who's shocked by that?
Something decent. No one, because we all knew. Like, it was literally filed with the intent of just being like, I can settle with my own government. Let's go.
Oh, yep, there it is. Judge blasts Trump's IRS lawsuit as filed for improper purpose and recommends attorney discipline. A federal judge said Monday that President Donald Trump's lawsuit against the IRS over his leaked tax returns were filed for an improper purpose as she referred attorneys for disciplinary actions. The ruling from U.S. District Judge Kathleen Williams amounts to a stinging rebuke of the Republican president's lawsuit, characterizing it as an exercise in self-dealing in which he sued an entity that is effectively under his control. Yep.
I mean, more than effectively, considering the recent Supreme Court ruling on Trump v. Slaughter. So, yeah, they gave him unitary executive power. Yay, I love this. Anyways, that's all I wanted to share. Oh, and of course, if you want to self-promo for later, that's cool.
Yes,
Bye.
I'm definitely going to do that. Bye. We saw that coming because they filed it. W's to Juicy Juice, please, for the $5 train. Choo-choo. Thank you so much, Juicy Juice. He said, welcome back. Thank you. It's good to be back. It is. Apparently, the ops are very mad. Very, very mad. So W's to Juicy Juice as we get down to 8147. Guys, let's make sure we are still working on that. Please remember, this is my job. This is what I do for a living. And I appreciate the taps. We should be well on our way to 100,000 by now. If you're watching over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button for me. I would appreciate it. And hello there on Twitch. I see you all are in there now. And I love you so much for your support. So thank you. Okay, last thing on the Save America Act was Donald Trump this morning. Now, remember, when I was talking about Iran, okay, Kristen Welker on Meet the Press was trying to talk about the strait being opened or closed or whatever's going on, and he said, I don't want to talk about it because of Lindsey Graham. Well, here's the opposite of that situation, which is Fox is legitimately trying to talk about Lindsey Graham. And he rambles about the Save America Act, which, again, you guys don't understand, okay? Okay.
Years. And if you terminate the filibuster, everything goes away, and we do anything we want. We pass everything we want, and the Democrats are going to do it. And he started to see that because he was against, because everyone's sort of against. Not everybody. 20% were against. He was one, and now he was starting to say, terminate the filibuster. Otherwise, we're going to have, these continued ridiculous, crazy, Trump deranged. They're Trump deranged. These people suffer from a very fine disease known as Trump derangement syndrome. And
it's called Trump accountability syndrome. You guys wouldn't know what that is.
He was seeing that. And
Mr. President,
I agree, Mark. I think we need a political dialogue that transcends tribalism. I would agree with that. That's why I'm not a Democrat. I'm a registered independent, but my policies tend to lean left. I try to do things that are going to be progressive and that are going to cause the least amount of harm for people.
He was really come a long way on the terminating the filibuster, which is the
There's not 30 million illegals in the country, Carter. Source that.
single smartest thing we could do, because then you'd get everything. That's bigger. But even if we took the small loaf, and the small loaf is the Save America Act, and it's very simple. It's voter ID, it's proof of citizenship, and it's no voter back. It's the ballot. Look what happened to the kid in California. They send a million.
Carter, now it's 10 to 50. 10 to 50 million. Cite that, please. Cite it, Carter. That's what I asked you to do. Do you know what a citation is? Cite it.
In ballots, nobody know where they came from.
Yeah.
So it's, you don't do mail-in ballots unless You're in the military. You're in deployment. You're in the military. You don't do them if somebody's sick, if somebody's disabled, or if you go on vacation. You know, you get a pass. We make it nice and easy.
So you can vote by mail if you're on vacation, I guess. That's fine. What?
But Mr. President, did you notice anything
California,
different?
They find millions and millions of ballots. It's impossible. Spencer Pratt came up to my office. He said he thought he won. I said, why didn't you complain? He didn't know who to complain.
I don't really care how many. Like 1 million is too many, you dumb cunt. They're illegal, and that wasn't even the point, but I'm sure your commie shit wouldn't get it. Sweetheart, why is 1 million too many? Where is the negative effect of having immigrants in the country?
Too. But what they did to that guy was unbelievable. He's a nice guy. He worked so hard. And they found millions of ballots, you know. And they took the election away from him. They almost did it to Steve Hilton. I complained. I got the U.S. attorneys involved and the FBI.
He didn't. No. Steve Hilton was always number 2 in that race. So, no. We can talk about that. He keeps talking about Spencer Pratt. Again, Spencer Pratt ran for a position of mayor in L.A. L.A. only has a 15% registered Republican conservative population. Okay? I'm choking on my own spit. All right. 15% registered Republicans, 15% conservatives in LA. It's a very small proportion. Okay? Karen Bass was always at the top with the votes. Always was. The entire time. Then it was Pratt. And then it was Nithya Raman. Sparky, shut up. Then it was Pratt. Then it was Nithya Raman. Okay? So they were sitting here. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Now, we tend to get red votes. That's why we talk about the red mirage a lot. Because you tend to get red votes counted faster because a lot of them are in person. You guys, for some reason. It couldn't be because of the shit he said for the last 10 years. Couldn't be that. But for some reason, you guys don't vote by mail. So those votes get counted first. We had a lot of votes for Karen Bass. She was always in the forefront, and Spencer Pratt was always number 2. Okay? But once you start getting through those red votes in a 15% conservative area of LA, Nithya Raman overtook Spencer Pratt. It made sense. We all knew why. LA is not a conservative place. We knew that that was going to be the case. Cry harder, bitch. Now, Steve Hilton, I have no clue what he's talking about because it was always Becerra and then it was Steve Hilton the entire time. It wasn't even close. I think Tom Steyer was underneath that. Never got close. Never got close. They were always right on top of each other. The votes were like this far apart. So what the fuck is he talking about? You guys, can we get this corn accomplished while we're sitting here? Hello.
Links in bio to pre-order your commie cunt merch.
Yes. Unfortunately, Jovan has the market on that one, actually.
Oh, does he?
He does.
Damn.
I have one of Jovan's Pride shirts where it's his little character is wearing his commie cunt shirt. Yeah.
You could do like socialist shill or something. All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Okay. So we'll continue with his lies, I guess.
And as soon as
what do I not want to talk about, David? What'd you say? Karen Bass paying off homeless. Where's your proof of that? Do you have proof of that?
Because he was, you know, they were.
Ooh, Socialist Siren is great. That one's for you, Audie.
Steve Hilton is starting to fade. He's running, as you know, for governor.
You want it to be DJ Bookie? Because it can be. DJ Bookie. I know you're excited that I'm back. But get your hands out of your pants and do what I tell you to do and tap. Because what is going on? I'm back, and you're not respecting who I am. Why are we not at 100,000 likes yet? Am I a joke to you? Do I need to sit you down? Do I need to bend you over? Because I can. Do what you're supposed to do. Very disappointed in you. You're back. Yeah.
The California comment reminded me, you guys, a little fun fact, Butte, Montana was founded by socialists.
Oh, yeah.
Learned that yesterday in a documentary. So for being such a red state, they sure did love socialism.
That's true. They're so upset. I'm Carter. One, stop slurring, bro. And he said, you're the one calling liars. The burden of proof is on you. No, it's not. If you make a positive claim, that burden of proof is on you. I cannot prove a negative claim. Hey, Carter, when did you stop beating your wife? It's on you to prove it, because apparently I'm a liar.
Governor of California. And they said, Steve Hilton. I said, here we go. They're going to find ballots. And they said he was starting to fade. He wasn't fading.
Newsom getting locked up for what?
He was the
Just like Obama, what was he going to get locked up for? Clinton? Lock her up. There was a whole campaign. She seems pretty free to me.
opposite. And I put the U.S. attorney involved. They said, well, no, in 2 weeks after can you imagine? This is the week after the election. They're saying he's starting to fade. And then I got the U.S. attorney involved. And they didn't know in 2 weeks. They let it be known an hour later.
So, Mr. President, real quickly, did you notice anything different from Lindsey
he's going to be in the runoff
on the phone?
These elections are very.
Do you hear how he's trying to get him back on track with Lindsey Graham? He's like, well, okay, well, what about Lindsey? Because we're talking about contests now.
They didn't know in 2 weeks. They let it be known an hour later.
So, Mr. President, real quickly, did you notice?
He said Steve Wilton, by the way, and then corrected himself.
Anything different from
that
Lindsey?
He's going to be in the runoff
on the phone?
These elections are very dishonest, and you can't have a country unless you have really honest elections.
And we do, even per the Heritage Foundation. We do. We have very honest elections. Now, people's confidence in our contests have gone down. I wonder fucking why. We've only had a man who's been president 2 times talk about for 10 years, not 6, 10 years, talk about the fact that if he loses, it's rigged. When he wins, it's not. I wonder why Americans feel that way.
And when people don't want to have voter ID, when people don't want to have proof of citizenship, it's only for one reason, because they want to cheat, and they're very good at it.
No, because when you register, you prove your citizenship. I've talked about this over and over.
And Mr. President, obviously, Senator Lindsey Graham was a co-sponsor of the Save America Act. Let me ask you, though, we were talking, and you were just talking about that Kavanaugh moment being a top 10 moment, and I would agree.
Oh, 8-bit. Free speech? What's that? Not on private platforms. You don't. What are the first 5 words? Excuse me. What are the first 5 words of the First Amendment?
As we were all watching on that day in 2018, and we knew we were witnessing history, but I wonder whether or not that was a significant pivotal moment in your friendship and the development of your close bond with him when you saw him standing and fighting, since no other person was, that delivered ultimately Justice Kavanaugh. Was that in a key moment?
No, it was just a sign of respect. I knew Lindsey by that time. Don't forget, Lindsey was one of, there were a total actually of 18 people. They always say 16 or 17, but there were actually 18 people running for president. A couple had dropped out very early, and he was one of them running. And he was totally against me. I mean, he was fighting me. He sort of used me as the example because I was leading in the polls by a lot. And
he was saying, what the fuck is this party doing voting for this man?
He said, I'll get you in South Carolina. I'm going to get you in South Carolina. And that didn't work out too well. I joke about it. You know, it was amazing, actually. When the whole thing was
Sean, free speech is free speech. I don't give a fuck about the platform. We just making rules up now. Aw, thank you, Eli, for showing exactly what free speech does. Since you guys don't know, I guess we'll fucking go through it together. Holy crap. Why are you guys so unwell that you don't even know the First Amendment of the goddamn Constitution? Yes, Constitution, I am a human. First 5 words. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free speech or the free exercise thereof. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. Congress, Your free speech allows you to talk without the government doing anything against you. Not here, bitch. And Eli will just keep muting you. There's no free speech on private platforms. Okay? Okay. Because I'm not the government, so I can do what I want. Glad that we covered. I don't know why we have to keep covering the Constitution today. It's weird to me.
Amazing. Hey, the whole career was amazing, but Lindsey was a big part of it because once that ended, he left the race. And once that ended, I became really good friends with him. Now, he had one bad moment, and that was, the January 6th thing when he stood up. All right, now I've had it. That's it. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, but you don't read the whole thing about shall not be infringed. Stupid. You mean the Second Amendment, Rich. Take that up with SCOTUS, not with me.
He called me like about 40 minutes later, and he said, did I really say that? I can't believe it. And he took it back, so I give him...
AFN, I actually gave a perfect example of the fact that he's not following the Constitution per the 14th. Okay? Okay. Or his EO on flag burning, which violates the first. Okay? Okay.
A 99 instead of a 100. Most people were, a lot of people were at 100, but he did have that one little moment, and it was sort of funny when he goes, did you see it, by the way? I've had it. Now I've had it. He was just, I was too much for him. He said, this is it. I've had it. I had nothing to do with that, by the way. And they leave the room, and they call back, and they say, we had to make a couple of changes. I said, changes? They got to make changes? We're not going to make changes. Always changes. They just, they're professional negotiators. That's all they are. That's, first of all, because Obama actually went to their side.
Okay, so that's the entirety of the interview. I just wanted to show the beginning where he's rambling about the Save America Act, even though he's supposed to be talking about Lindsey Graham. So I guess he does get back on track a little bit, but, So switching gears. We are going to switch gears. Guys, it's almost 10:30. We hit 100,000 likes. Thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate it, and I know you guys can keep doing it. So let's keep tapping. Let's keep going. Why haven't we completed? We'll start working on the finger hearts, and I have 81 left in my goal, guys. Hello. I know it's Monday. I know it's tough, but this is my job. You need to be supporting me. I know you guys can, and I appreciate it. If you can't, just keep tapping. If you can do that, I would appreciate that. All right, so Cash App, Venmo, PayPal on the link tree in my bio. Keep working on it. Yeah, no, they definitely don't. So let's keep doing all of those good things. All right. Ro Khanna was detained by Israeli settlers, by the way. Don't know if people saw this. So this is from his own page. Israeli settlers brandishing American-made M4s detained me and other Americans on my trip to Palestine. When the IDF arrived, they sided with the settlers and continued our detention. They made a huge mistake. You will be hearing more soon. So I have this clip of him in front of Meet the Press, short clip talking about it and saying how the IDF is lying. Who's shocked by that? Not us.
The IDF is lying. What happened was...
What, Dusty? Are you okay? You agree with abortions, but then don't agree with puppies being aborted. Huh? What? Are they being aborted in utero? What? I can't hold a conversation because you guys won't call. It's very difficult to have a conversation with YouTube comments, you scared little bitches. Okay? Okay.
The IDF is lying. What happened was unprecedented. They had violent settlers detain American citizens, including an American government official. You had these settlers brandishing M4s, kicking the tires of our van, laughing at us, mocking at us, videotaping us.
Yeah, they do. They don't abort kittens and puppies at shelters. They kill kittens and puppies at shelters. And no, I wouldn't agree with that the same way that I wouldn't agree with if you started killing children in a hospital. Are y'all okay?
We were detained for about 20 minutes, fearful of our lives. Then the IDF comes, 4 soldiers. They tell our translator that they're on the side of the settlers. They further detain us and block us in. We had to call the American embassy. Fortunately, David Brownstein helped, and he got to someone in Israel. And 75 minutes after the detention by the IDF soldiers and by these settlers, we were let through. Now, I heard the prime minister, and he says that Israel is a country of law and order. Well, let me be very specific. The prime minister needs to open an investigation on these violent settlers who are connected to Yanon Levy, who has destroyed Zanuta's village and is a known person who has killed Palestinians, and these settlers were connected to him. They need to be prosecuted, including Yanon Levy. Their outpost needs to be investigated, and he needs to have an investigation on
Veronix, you just sound scared.
these 4 IDF officers. Security cameras can see that they were involved in the detention of American citizens. How dare they mistreat people with an American passport that way?
Especially since they're using our money to do it. I'm glad, I guess, that he got to experience what we already knew was happening. And luckily for him that he is a congressman. Because they could just shoot you. So, you know, sure. Okay. Where do I want to go? I had stuff that we hadn't gotten to. Let's go down here. All right. As we all saw, I'm sure we saw, but I haven't been able to cover it because I've been gone, okay? What to know about the fatal shooting of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo by ICE. A U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer fatally shot Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, a Mexican national who lived in the U.S. for decades, as the home builder drove his construction crew to a Houston job site. His death set off protests in Texas' largest city and calls from Democrats and Salgado Araujo's family for an independent investigation. The shooting on Tuesday in a heavily Hispanic neighborhood is at least the 8th death during the Trump administration's immigration enforcement campaign. The Department of Homeland Security, which oversees ICE, said federal officers were looking for someone else when they attempted to stop Salgado Araujo's vehicle. DHS said Salgado Araujo rammed an ICE vehicle and then an officer opened fire in self-defense. Salgado Araujo's family said he was very close to obtaining legal status in the U.S. after living in the country for 35 years, and that he knew what to do if approached by ICE officers. Ronaldo Salgado, his son, said his father may have been scared that the people in unmarked vehicles were going to steal his tools. The shooting happened on a Houston street. Few photos or videos surrounding the shooting in Houston have emerged on social media, unlike other deaths involving federal immigration officers. DHS has not released any images or footage. DHS said in a statement that federal officers were heading to the address of a Target Tuesday when they saw a white van and someone inside who resembled the person they were looking for. An officer opened fire after Salgado Araujo ignored commands and attempted to ram the officer with his vehicle, DHS said. A video shot by a bystander, Juliet Martinez, shows the aftermath of the shooting. A black vehicle is angled toward a white van. Their doors wide open. A bleeding and handcuffed man groans loudly on the ground and his leg shakes. Other federal officers stand over at least 3 other handcuffed men. ICE has not released the names of the other men detained, but Salgado Araujo's family identified one as his brother. Families of the other 2 men said they were able to briefly talk to them Wednesday and they have been detained. DHS said Thursday that the officers involved in the shooting were not wearing body cameras. I wonder if maybe the Democrats tried to get that to be a requirement and then said they wouldn't fund ICE because of that, and you all had a hissy fit for accountability because you're totally fine with a police state. Maybe it was that. The department blamed Democrats and a record government shutdown that was fueled by Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. That's funny because that was one of the requirements that the Democrats wanted, was body cameras. It's cute how they rewrite history. U.S. Representative Christian Menefee, a Democrat who also represents Houston, said if ICE officers did not have the devices, it was because Trump and Republican lawmakers did not want them to. DHS said it would not release the name of the officer who shot Salgado Araujo. The department did not say how long the officer has worked for ICE or whether any of the officers involved were placed on leave. Well, I guess similarly to Minnesota, we just have to do it ourselves. So here is the mayor in Houston saying, much like Minnesota, that there will be investigations.
80 hours ago, the Salgado family, life will never be the same. at no fault of theirs, Mr. Salgado was chased by an unmarked vehicles before he could identify himself and speak as a Houstonian. He was shot and killed. I've met with his family today and expressed the entire city's condolences and anger.
Still kick and prove that he did that.
And assured him that I and the levels of government represented here today and the DA's office would do everything.
Oh, so according to DHS, because they've been so trustworthy, right? You trust the police, you trust law enforcement to tell you the truth. It's interesting.
Use all of our resources and our waking hours.
Catherine, I want to murder my children? That's interesting. They're downstairs. They're playing Nintendo. Never had that thought.
To pursue an independent and transparent investigation.
So, Houston's going to investigate it the same way that Minnesota is investigating it separately. Okay? Can I get W's to Dark Eagle, please, for the $5? Thank you, Dark Eagle. I appreciate it. He said for the goal. So W's to Dark Eagle for the 5. I can math. Guys, that brings us down to 76. Can we please keep working on that dollar train, $2 train, and we can get that number down? I know we can. I've seen you guys do it. So I'd appreciate it if we could. Maybe it could be my 2. Nope, that's still right. Okay. And then today, because it's never enough. It's never enough for you guys. Person killed in shooting involving ICE agents in Maine, reports say. A person was killed on Monday in a shooting involving U.S. immigration agents in Maine, according to a statement attributed to a prominent state lawmaker. Days after, a man was killed by an immigration agent during a traffic stop in Texas. Word of the shooting in Biddeford, Maine, came in a post by the Maine State House's Speaker, Ryan Fecteau, on a personal Facebook page. Quote, "This morning, a shooting occurred in Biddeford," Fecteau's post said, referring to Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE. His post continued, quote, "A person was killed. ICE was involved. State police and the Department of Public Safety are now on scene to gather details and would expect the FBI to investigate as well." The shooting occurred at approximately 7:20 a.m. A man named Lucas Scott, described as an eyewitness, told the Biddeford Gazette. Scott described seeing at least 2 officers in green ICE vests gathered around a white sedan stopped at an intersection, according to the outlet. He said the agents were yelling very loudly and that he heard at least 4 gunshots. Local media said authorities closed a road and local law enforcement were joined by FBI officials at a crime scene in Biddeford, a city of more than 21,000 people that is about 15 miles south of Portland and 90 miles north of Boston. Crowds were seen gathering in protest a relatively short time after the shooting, according to Maine's Portland Press Herald. ICE and Department of Homeland Security DHS officials could not be immediately reached for comment. Biddeford police did not comment to Reuters and referred an inquiry from the news wire service to ICE, and the mayor did not immediately respond to a Reuters request for comment. Former Maine State Senator Troy Jackson, who is running for the Democratic nomination for a Maine U.S. Senate seat after party primary winner Graham Plattner suspended his campaign for the Post, said on X that he had been alerted to the fatal ICE shooting in Biddeford on Monday morning. "Our team is monitoring the situation very closely and will provide updates as we learn more. My heart is with Biddeford and with all Mainers." Jackson added in a follow-up post in part, "Our immigrant communities are under attack by ICE." Among other things, he also said the agency must be abolished. Yet they're never available for comment. But, again, you guys are fine with a police state, so you won't care about that. Did I have... Oh, I did. I meant to play this. This was, by the way, this was Riley Gaines talking about the shooting in Texas.
I'm not surprised at all at this point. I think initially I was when you had
But real quick, W's to Lanati for the 247. You said mute still kicking, please. He bores me. Te quiero mucho. Glad you are back. Te quiero mucho, mi amor. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Goodbye, still kicking. You got muted. Why? Because we follow the rules here.
Do you want someone muted in the chat? Is there someone who's spamming, making disingenuous arguments, displaying bot behavior, or maybe they're just a dumb bitch? Well, you can keep them muted and contribute to their degradation kink. But remember, while we don't kink shame, it is perfectly acceptable to kink ask why. You can keep them muted for as little as $2 a day, $7 a week, or $25 a month. Pay links in the bio.
Okay, Powdered, you said ICE was worse under Obama, just it was convenient to protest. What? Huh? Can you prove that to me? Why do I have to do this? Every single time. Immigration advocates rally to curb deportations. A march and rally to the White House was one of several events held in different parts of the country to demand that Obama curb deportations. Mr. President, stop deportations. Hashtag not one more. April 5th, 2014. They protested Obama too. Okay, glad we got that covered. Put that over here. Back to Riley Gaines.
Abrego Garcia, who a similar situation, but you had Democratic elected members of Congress who went to Mexico or Guatemala or wherever he was, I can't even remember now, to essentially campaign alongside him using the exact same verbiage that you just described. And I'm right there with you. No one wants to see lives lost. I don't want to see an ICE agent shot, and I certainly don't want to see an illegal immigrant shot. I want him deported. I don't want him, dead, right? Of course not. Right. But let's not forget.
That's why her cross is so tiny.
Get the context here. This is years of open borders that ultimately flooded communities with chaos, and now agents are operating in these hostile environments.
I don't ignore that Obama deported more than any president, and he didn't put kids in cages. He separated for a short period of time, but I disagree with all of that. I actively acknowledge that Obama, using expedited removal, deported more people than any president. I'm not ignoring anything. Okay.
To your point with the messaging that we've seen online, here's what I will say. It's actually pretty easy to not get shot by an ICE officer. These illegal immigrants, they have been warned. They've actually even been incentivized.
Oh! It's pretty easy to not get shot by an ICE agent. It's just pretty easy. Riley Gaines, you know what else is pretty fucking easy? It's pretty fucking easy to win a race. Just come in first, you dumb bitch. It's pretty easy to win a race. Just come in first. Oh, you tied for fifth? You didn't even just come in fifth on your own? You tied for fifth? Okay. Yeah, it's pretty easy not to be in the Epstein files. Just don't be in them. It's pretty easy to win a race. Just come in first. I'm nasty. I'm nasty. Listen to what that bitch says. I'm nasty.
Operating in these hostile environments. And to your point with the messaging that we've seen online, here's what I will say. It's actually pretty easy to not get shot by an ICE officer. These illegal immigrants, they have been warned. They've actually even been incentivized. They have been offered a path even for legal immigration.
Incorrect. That's not true. Powdered. Yeah, Democrats were in the Epstein files too. Go get them. Go get them. Hi, Manny.
Hey, Monty. The main thing I put in chat, and Lanati gave me eyes, but the main shooting for the 26-year-old Colombian man who I haven't found anything of his name yet, but he apparently, and I'm gonna read this. Quote, says the man was authorized to work in the U.S. and had been issued a social security number. So where I'm reading this from is obviously this is still all of this, before anybody jumps down my throat, is obviously going to come from the news, because this has to come from the news first.
Correct.
Because DHS is, quote, doing an investigation and not talking to anybody, as they always do. So obviously this is going to have to come from the news. Which news? This is the PressHerald.com news. Portland Press Herald specifically, they're doing live updates, and that was reported 12:27 p.m. obviously their time, by one of the staff writers, that the Presidente said the man was authorized to work in the U.S. and had been issued a social security number.
So do it the legal way, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder what's illegal about him being issued a social security number by the United States government.
Yeah.
And a work authorization, which, by the way, work authorization is in fact legal. Would actually, it's not even like seeking asylum. This is
No, it's completely different. Like, you've been vetted to get work authorization. I mean, you're vetted for asylum too, but it's just different.
I mean, like, yeah, that's I forget the number for that visa, but yeah, he has a work authorization visa. So that's only information I wanted to offer up about the main one.
Oh, thank you. Because I know that was brand new, so we're gonna get a bunch of updates on it as the days keep going.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you can let me back down. Gotta get back to work day.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Powdered, I don't know what your issue is. I really don't. I'm not just saying words on the internet, but honestly, anytime anybody talks, you're just saying words. I just want you to know that. Don't know if you know that. But again, the conversation has always been and will continue to be that you guys sit here and say you're fine with legal immigration for the most part. Some of you have taken the mask fully off and just say you don't want immigrants at all, even though your family came from immigration in some way, shape, or form, unless you are indigenous. So spare me your tears.
Legal entry into this country. If you're still here in this country illegally at this point, be prepared to be forcefully removed. If you try to harm or kill a law enforcement officer, I guess be prepared that they're ready to eliminate that threat.
You know, I always say
again, the threat per DHS's words, no proof.
It's not an officer or an agent's duty.
I'm not. I said go after everybody, didn't I? Cool.
To die in the line of duty because someone wants to resist arrest or someone wants to ram you with a vehicle. And to your point earlier about how ridiculous and nonsensical it is for Democrats to be giving these law enforcement agents and officers advice on what they should do is quite something. But Joe, going back.
No, well, Congress can. Right. That's what you say about military members. Like, it's just police state. They're done. They're cooked. They're gone. But let's get into some of the racism that coincides with these policies, right? So I've had this one in the chamber for a while. I just haven't been able to play it. This is James Comer allegedly talking about fraud. By the way, just as a teaser, I do have videos. You guys, it was very tough. You guys should know. I didn't think I was going to get home from my vacation because it is California. And you know, communism. We all saw Nick Shirley's video. I played it on here. It's hard to leave places that institute communism. And since I was in California, I did take video. We had to use the emergency exit to leave the hotel. And so that video will be coming soon. I'm so excited to show you guys how San Diego almost didn't let us leave. But this is James Comer talking about fraud. And and just the racism is racisming.
We're seeing so much fraud in the Medicaid program in particular.
Oh my God. Are you guys okay? Gabrielle just said, if we do, they're talking about like evolution. They're being transphobic. It's fine. But they're talking about evolution and said, if we do come from apes, why can't we mate with them? Because we came from them. Previous iterations of sapiens, not what we are now. Wow. 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 Watch PBS. You need to watch a documentary. Nova on PBS is really, really good. National Geographic. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. They're so broken. We come from them. Evolution is a web, not a line. Anyway, the racism.
Seeing so much fraud in the Medicaid program in particular is because that.
There absolutely is, Gabrielle. Do you know our next closest relative in way of species? Do you know who it is? Per DNA. Per our DNA, who our next closest relative is. Do you know? Chicky got it right. Chicky knew. It's actually not Kelly. That would be next, but it's actually not. It's bonobos. It's bonobos.
It's federal money that goes to the states.
Powdered said Neanderthal is our next closest cousin. I'm so sorry. I'm going to play the video. I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it.
We're seeing so much fraud in the Medicaid program in particular is because that's federal money that goes to the states. Then the states administer their own Medicaid programs. And what we're seeing, especially...
Correct, but not with federal money, because they can't use federal money for their own state programs. They use state money, states' rights, 10th Amendment.
In the blue states, is there's rampant fraud, especially...
Actually, Texas has one of the highest rates of fraud, but sure.
In the minority communities, and they're turning a blind eye to it for political reasons.
I'm sorry, what communities?
Fraud, especially in the minority communities, and they're turning a blind eye to...
I'm sorry, one more time, James Comer. Which communities have the most fraud?
Is there's rampant fraud, especially in the minority communities, and they're turning a blind eye to it for political reasons.
Can you prove that to me? Can you source that?
That's the bottom line. That's what those state
Yeah,
employees
Anna,
in Minnesota said, and that's what's happening. And I think the only way we're going to stop it is if people are put in jail. And
Right, like the minority community, Amy Bach in Minnesota, just like her. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
Hey, Moni, it's Cap. I got a question.
Hey, Cap.
I'm in Florida. I'm in my mid-40s.
Yeah, I know. You're good. How are you, Cap?
I'm hanging in there. How you doing?
I'm doing well. All right, what's your question?
Okay. So we saw Nick Shirley go to Minnesota.
Yes.
California.
Yep.
And New York. And I still hear
Cuba,
a lot of
too.
people say, and Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still hearing a lot of people say there's nothing to see here when you're talking about fraud. There's nothing to see here.
Who's saying that?
When is there? Okay, but is there something to see here? I just want to know.
Cap, who is saying there's nothing to see here? I have not seen one creator nor congressperson who is saying that.
I'm just saying, I don't want to name names, but a lot of the content creators...
name a name, because they would be incorrect. Nobody is saying there's nothing to see here.
Okay, no, I just don't want to call people out, but I have heard a lot...
I'll call them out. Call them out. Fuck it. Why not? They're lying, so call them out.
I don't want to start beef. My thing is, my curiosity level is to the point where, man, sooner or later, somebody has to say, yeah, there's something wrong going on here.
We are. That's why I'm asking you to name them, Cap, because it sounds like you're lying, because I have yet to see a creator who has said there's nothing to see here in regards to fraud. I have yet to see it.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure, because, I mean, if this kid is going around doing what Elizabeth Warren should be doing...
He's not, though. That's the problem. The issue I have with Nick Shirley is he's not exposing anything. When he went to... Did you watch the California video, Cap?
I just saw the new one, the New York one. That's crazy.
Did you watch the California one?
I mean, we all know what's going on in California. I didn't need to see that.
You should have. You should have, though. You should have, though, because it came out. So, Cap.
Once I saw Gavin Newsom open, I just
Cap.
Once I saw. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Cap.
Go ahead.
What was he talking about in regards to fraud in California? What was he talking about specifically, Nick Shirley?
No, you tell me.
Okay, he was talking about hospice fraud, not the actual places that administer the care, but the places that deal with the insurance, right? That there are a lot of companies that are allegedly committing fraud in regards to hospice care, Okay? Now, Nick Shirley's video came out this year. My community knows because I played the entire thing. What a lot of people don't know is that Nick Shirley didn't uncover anything because California stopped issuing hospice licenses in 2022, 4 years ago. Now, why did they do that? Because they saw that there was an issue with people taking out hospice licenses who were not actually administering that care, but taking in that money. So 4 years ago, they stopped administering those hospice licenses so that they can start investigating the people who currently have them and get through the system. So Nick Shirley didn't discover anything. Nick Shirley was 4 years late.
Okay, so you're saying basically that 4-year span was under Biden's watch.
Sure. What is that? That's a state issue, though. What does that have to do with the federal government? They knew about it. They knew about it. They knew about it. They knew about it. Or else why did they stop issuing licenses in 2022? Nick Shirley was 4 years late. He's not discovering anything.
Technically,
he's like
wasn't
Christopher
Biden 2 years late?
Columbus.
Wasn't Biden 2 years late if he got in office in 2020?
He took office in 21.
Okay, I'm just saying.
And it would be
if they
the
knew
state, Cap, it would be the state that stops issuing the hospice license, not the federal government.
I get that, but you have to understand, too, it's just a coincidence that the state also involved in Minnesota and the state is also involved in New York.
And when did the investigations into Minnesota at the state level start?
You tell me.
In 2018, under the Trump administration. But it wasn't Trump who did it. It was Minnesota who did it, right?
I mean, from what you're saying, yeah.
Okay. And when did we get arrests in Minnesota?
I mean, we're just now getting arrests, right?
No, that's not true. She was just sentenced. When did we get arrests?
No, there's other people getting arrested now, too.
Correct.
You didn't see that?
Correct. How many were arrested in 2021 and 2022?
You tell me.
Cool. Upwards of 80 to 90. Including Amy Bach, the ringleader of Feeding Our Future, a white woman, correct? She was just sentenced this year to 42 years in prison for her fraud. This has been being investigated and people have been getting arrested for it for years. You guys are new to this, not the people in the state doing it.
Granted, great, that's fine, but just the coincidence of these three...
It's not a coincidence. You guys just are new to it.
I understand
that. They were already doing it.
Okay. Great, fine, but don't you see you don't see the correlation of all three of these states being sanctuary cities and New York's asking for a bailout now?
No, where's New York asking for a bailout?
I think the mayor just recently asked for a bailout.
He just signed a budget that's going to be a zero deficit budget. So what are you talking about?
Just saying, I think the mayor.
I know you're just saying, Cap. You're just saying a lot without any proof.
I know, but
what about what is a sanctuary city?
You tell me.
No, what is it?
I mean, they work under their rules. They don't work under federal rules, right? Pretty much, right?
No.
I mean, you're saying they're state funded, that they don't get federal funding. That means they're working by the state.
No, that is in regards to health care. There is state
that's what
care.
We're talking about.
No, that's not. You said that there is fraud happening because of sanctuary city policies.
Medicare fraud. That's what I'm referring to.
You said that fraud is happening because of sanctuary city policies. What is a sanctuary city policy?
You tell me.
No, you were the one who made the claim that this is happening because of sanctuary city policies. So you tell me.
Coincidence. Okay, well, from what you said, it's state-related scenarios that don't involve the federal government. It's simple as
that has nothing to do with what I asked you. I asked you about what sanctuary. Give me an example. Give me an example of a sanctuary city policy.
You just basically said I don't need to get into word salad.
You were the one who brought it up. You brought up sanctuary cities. So give me an example of a sanctuary city policy.
I mean, pretty much harboring more immigrants than anything. I mean, like they're giving like. Okay, educate me.
Cool. So what all that a sanctuary city designates itself as is that you are given the choice whether you want local law enforcement to use their resources for immigration. They're saying that the local police force does not have to use their state funding, their local tax money to help the federal government with immigration. That's all that it is. That's it.
Okay, so then
it has nothing to do with fraud.
So then why is New York asking for a bailout from the federal government?
Show me that. Prove that to me.
Look it up.
No, you prove it to me. It's your claim.
Oh God. Okay. I gotta Google. Hold on.
Yeah, you do that.
I mean, you can do it too. You're on the
I'm
computer.
not your claim.
Okay, so McDonough successfully secured a multi-billion-dollar bailout package from New York State to close a projected $12 billion budget deficit. The assistance was agreed upon May 2026 to help balance the $127.4 billion fiscal year of 2027 executive budget.
Where'd he get the bailout from, Cap? You're right, there was a bailout. Where'd it come from?
Where'd it come from? I got one. It don't matter.
Cap,
I was right.
It does matter. It does matter. It does matter.
No.
It does matter. Cap.
You can't move the goalpost. Don't move the goalpost.
I'm not moving the goalpost. Were you talking
right.
about Cap? Were you talking about a federal bailout?
It don't matter.
It does matter, Cap. It does.
You just said it didn't exist. It exists now. I got you the proof.
I didn't say it didn't exist. I asked you to prove it to me. I asked you to prove it to me, Cap. I never said it didn't exist. Cap. Sweetheart, I know it's tough. Cap.
It's tough. It's tough.
I never said it didn't exist. I asked you to prove it. Now, you made it sound, because we were talking about federal, correct? Were we talking about federal versus state?
Okay, so you're saying the state bailed out the state? That's what you're saying?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. The final deal includes a mishmash of cost shifts, delayed pension payments, and one notable new tax on pricey second homes. It's state money.
The state is asking. The state is saying, "Hey, state, we don't have any money. State, where are we going to get the money from?"
They didn't say we don't have any money. They were fixing a hole in their deficit.
You understand the
the city bailed out a city. That's what happened.
I'm gonna concede to the state bailing out the state. I'm gonna concede to that.
Cool. Awesome.
But we do know that there is a bailout,
I would like you to show me who is saying that there is no fraud anywhere, because nobody's been saying that. And also, red states have fraud.
That's the least of your concerns. You just found out that the state is bailing out the state when the state basically.
Why would I care? I don't live in New York. Why would I care? I don't live in New York.
I'm just saying.
I don't care. You were the one who made it like it was a big deal. I just asked you to prove it to me.
I'm just looking at the correlation of all this stuff, and it's
which is what?
Sooner or later,
the correlation of it, which is what?
And sooner or later, it's like, damn, all that money.
What's the correlation, Cap?
The correlation that all that was tax money, no?
State tax money, sure. What about it?
Okay, I'm just saying, a lot of people should be pissed off.
Why? That their tax money is paying for their city? That's what it's supposed to do.
It paid a lot of people to get a lot of kickbacks, and it wasn't the people.
Prove that to me.
Oh, here we go with the...
Yeah, because you can't just say things, Cap. You have to prove stuff. You don't just get to say things.
I don't want to throw out... Look, I don't want to throw out false information. I don't want to get...
You already did. You already did by claiming there were kickbacks. You already threw out information that may or may not... I didn't say there wasn't a bailout. I said prove it to me. I didn't say there wasn't, Cap. I said prove to me that there was.
So basically, you want me to prove to you about the...
Kickbacks? Yeah.
No. It's not. This is what I get.
You're all over the place.
When I hear it. You guys want me to say, "Oh no, the border was not an issue." Prove it. Okay. You guys want me to say what else?
Who said that?
The war in Ukraine wasn't affecting the gas prices. Oh, prove it.
Who said that? Who has ever made that claim? I didn't make that claim. Who are you talking to?
I'm just saying, man.
You're just saying, and you're not saying it to me. W's to Jedi for the Swan.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
I didn't say that the war in Ukraine didn't raise the gas prices, because that would be stupid, because it did. Why did the war in Ukraine raise the gas prices? Because we put sanctions on Russian oil after they invaded a sovereign nation. That's stupid. Who said that? Did I say that the border wasn't an issue? No, I wouldn't say that. Why? Because it was a humanitarian issue. The fuck? Who are you talking to, Cap? Because it's not me. Oh my god, it's like a chili pepper and french fries giving each other a hug. Cute. What? He was talking about federal. I pointed him to states. But I was wrong. Sure. That's what happened. Yeah. Anyways, if you're over on YouTube and you haven't already, whether you're hate watching or love watching, hit that thumbs up button for me so we can get callers maybe better than Cap. So hit that thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Guys, keep tapping over here. I see you, 157,000 likes. Thank you so much. Can I get huge W's to Oh Me, Oh My for the $50 on PayPal? You said, damn, this ladder versus web shit still. That was in regards to the conversation about evolution. Because apparently, I don't know. Oh me, oh my. I don't. Yeah. Cap might be the best they have at this point. He's just saying, Blue. He's just saying. Again, Nick Shirley is 4 years late. He has been late. He did not start investigations. There were already investigations happening. Now, did those investigations maybe ramp up because of his stupid fucking video? Maybe. Where he couldn't read St. Michael and said St. Michelle? Yeah. But he didn't do anything because Amy Bach was arrested prior to that. Anyway, we did James Comer's racism. Let's do Jesse Waters. And racism and white replacement theory, because we love that.
Crazy communists to right-wing tough guys. Is that how America is supposed to be? Because that's the way it looks. These people don't believe in borders, capitalism, our founding fathers. They're here to steal, punish us, and then throw around welfare. This is a third world takeover. This is what happens when you import the third world. Did you know that New York City is 70% non-white?
Oh no! Whatever shall we do? You're telling me that the state and the city that was known for immigration, where even his ancestors came into, you're telling me where Ellis Island is located, where the Statue of Liberty says, give me your poor, your tired, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free? You're telling me that that has a diverse population? I'm shocked.
You know that New York City is 70% non-white, 40% foreign-born, 50% of the apartments, they don't even speak English.
Oh, no.
Their first language. These three women who Mondani endorsed weren't even born in New York City, weren't even raised in New York City. They're carpetbaggers.
By the way, that's a use of a slur. Yes, I know. Holy racism, Batman. Yeah.
Carpetbaggers, Jessica. And everyone's talking about...
Yeah, Clary is indigenous.
Like, oh, Mondami, oh, you got all this juice. Like he's this like harmless novice politician on a hot streak. This guy is trouble. This guy is a Trojan horse. And communism is going to take over the Democratic Party, and then we're going to have to beat it because you can't do anything else besides beat it to a pulp.
You have to win.
They're scared, by the way. That's what that was. They're fucking scared. Did Jessica have a rebuke to that? It's going to be hard to find it. PSA on indoctrination. Yeah, you can. Let me get to these real quick. I did see I had another super chat, and I'm sorry I didn't get it on the screen during that conversation, but thank you so much for that super chat. Thank you, Mr. Flinch, for the $5. You said MAGA watches this crap right here. It's all they watch. MAGA can't be taken seriously. I still like what you do. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Mr. Flinch, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you. That's exactly that, which is what Manny is going to come up and talk about. Indoctrination with what you are watching. Hello again.
Okay. So this is a short piece on indoctrination, all right? Raised in Utah with a family affiliated with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, he started off his YouTube career as an amateur vlogger and prankster at the age of 16. Most of his pranks involved his high school friends, while others included public stunts such as disrupting celebrity weddings. He also offered to sell some of his own recording footages of the J6 attack to media companies like CNN and HuffPost. Afterwards, in late of 2021, he decided to quit all activities on YouTube to participate in a religious mission to Chile for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, later returning to the platform 2 years later to start producing political content exclusively for right-wing activists. If you're wondering who this individual is, this is Nick Shirley. That is literally Nick Shirley. Where am I reading this from? You can go and easily find this up. This is his entire career. A 16-year-old child that was on YouTube doing pranks, all of a sudden graduated and went on a religious mission to Chile, came back 2 years later, and now he's a full-fledged Republican activist.
Where's the
That's
one
my
on
PSA
his...
on indoctrination.
Well, and his parents also pled guilty to fraud, if I remember correctly.
Yes, his parents did plead guilty to fraud, and they got a settlement. I believe it was. Anyways, that's it. Since we all believe in Nick Shirley, the independent journalist who is Christopher Columbusing fraud in America, that's your savior there. The prankster, 16-year-old child that sold footage to CNN on J6 turned Republican content creator after a religious mission to Chile. Must have been a magical mission. Anyway, getting back to whatever they do in Chile. Let me get back to
Just
work.
good food.
Thank you.
Oh, great. Now this guy. Yes.
And he's not even a Christian if he's Mormon, according to their government.
True.
So why is the right buying into this kid?
I don't know, but you know what? I'm going to embarrass him even further. So let's do that. We'll kick my husband with his background noise, and we'll just embarrass Nick Shirley further. Why don't we? Because it's my favorite thing to do.
Hi, Nick. You got an AmFuzz. I agree with you. Fraud is bad. Doesn't matter what they do. How you doing, Nick? Fraud is bad, right? Doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. Doesn't matter where you are. But I've never heard you once call out Donald Trump's 70 pardons of billions of dollars of people who committed fraud. Never once. Those people don't have to pay back any restitution. Why have you never even mentioned that, let alone investigated it?
Why haven't you mentioned all of the fraud pardons that Donald Trump has issued? Why? Why, Nick? This is your shtick. This is your realm. Is going after fraud. You're right. Go after fraud. What about all those pardons from Donald Trump? What about those? W's to Erica for the $5 super chat. You said, we need to keep an eye on Utah. As I recall, Trump took photos with members of the Kingston group. I mean, I'm not sure what that means, but let's see if Nick Shirley can answer, because you guys think that he's so well read. Let's see his answer.
Well, I think fraud's obviously bad. I don't agree with those pardons as well. And
You don't agree with those pardons. You've never mentioned them. Never once. Why haven't you done a video on it? Why haven't you done a video mentioning Trump's pardons?
well, because I'm not making videos.
He's young and way more successful than y'all. He can't speak in complete sentences. I promise you, I'm just fine. I could make him cry, though. I guarantee you I could make him cry.
On that.
Billions of dollars, not millions, billions, man. Billions.
Yeah, fraud is bad. It all needs
Do you disagree with those pardons? Will you call it out right now?
Yeah, I don't think people should be pardoned if they committed a crime.
Will you investigate the Trump administration for pardoning people that have made billions of dollars in fraud?
Well, when you talk about someone's stuff, you're angry at people for getting rich.
No, I'm angry at people for committing fraud like you.
You're angry at people for getting rich. No, I'm angry at people for committing fraud. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
My name is Dacus Green, DAQASCEGREN, and I voted for an independent party.
Okay. How old are you?
26.
Okay. Why'd you call in?
I voted for Biden back in the original election, though. I'm just
In
calling
2020?
in because yeah, I voted for Biden and Harris and all of that. Like,
Sure.
all of that. Yeah. Probably wasn't my preferred candidates either, but got us this far, you know?
Yeah.
So anyways, my name's Dacus. I was just calling because I saw that you had a number, and I appreciate what you're doing, and keep on educating the people.
Oh, well, thank you
Have a good
so
one.
much. I appreciate it. Okay.
Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the support. Trump's approval is like 29% right now, but yeah, most people are MAGA. Right. Cole, according to Trump, it's 59%. But again, Nick Shirley just said you're mad at people getting rich.
Some of this stuff, you're angry at people for getting rich.
No, I'm angry at people for committing fraud like you. We agree.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, all fraud is bad. All needs to be exposed.
Sure. Billions of dollars by the Trump administration.
And, for example?
The 70 pardons he gave out. He's asking me a question. Nick, I appreciate
What, do you not know? I thought that your job was investigating fraud. Do you not know about the 70 pardons for fraud? Do you not know?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I appreciate it. It's an important conversation, and I appreciate you asking me. He pardoned 70 people that have committed billions of dollars in fraud, like a George Santos, for example. And the worst part, Nick, and I think we'll agree on this, they don't have to pay back the restitution, which means they've committed billions in fraud. Listen, I agree with you. Fraud in Minnesota, all bad. I want people held to the highest extent of the law.
And they are.
But I feel like, and this is just my opinion, Nick, it gives you more credibility when you also go after people on the right, or Donald Trump pardoning people that have committed, again, billions of dollars in fraud. It should bother you just as much as it bothers me. I've never heard you tweet about it. I've never heard you talk about it. Why are you not calling out Trump publicly for that?
Well, I've done all the fraud. I've gone after fraud here inside the United States. I've gone and made these
Yet he hasn't gone to a red state. Does he think red states don't have fraud? He's investigated all the fraud, but he hasn't gone to red states.
documentaries showcasing the fraud. What more would you like me to do? I'm not a cop. I'm not here to investigate each and every single case of fraud.
Then don't make money off of it. Don't make money off of YouTube videos going after fraud. Don't. Oh, he's not a cop? He's not a cop. Oh, we didn't know. We weren't sure when he was in Minnesota or in California or in Cuba or now in New York. But not in Texas and not in Florida and not covering Donald Trump's pardons of fraud. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh. You know what? What's funny is it was a woman who yelled he's not a cop. Probably his mother. Because she is his security. That's not the one I wanted. Mr. Flinch, thank you so much again for the $5. You said, here's another $5. I found out Sam Neill passed away today in Australia. Holy shit. Yes. It's very, very upsetting. I woke up and found that out as well. Guess what I'll be watching tonight? I need a thumb splint for all this tapping I'm doing for Queen. Thank you, DJ Bookie. I love you. I love when you behave and tap that screen for me, which we are sitting at 183,000 likes. I know we can get that over 200,000 before we end today. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. Over there on Twitch, I wish there was something for you guys to be able to do with your fingers. But I guess just think of me, and I appreciate your support. You're going to watch Event Horizon again in his honor. I watched Project Hail Mary last night. It was nice. All right. Unfortunately, back to racism. Emojis in Twitch. Well, yeah, you could do emojis, but you have to, be subscribed to me. He's a pretty sound fella. Did you shut it down? You're like, yeah, always. Always. Gotta be excited. All right. Back to Jesse Waters. And they're saying that it's funny when they pronounce the Hussein in Obama's name.
Trump talks a lot. He says a lot of things. So, yeah, he's going to mention Barack Hussein Obama. Part of that is just he likes to say Hussein.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because this video came out a while ago. Apparently, it's not just because he likes to say it. Apparently, it's because he's trying to insinuate. We just showed that with the video talking about Obama and Iran this morning. He wants to insinuate to you that Obama is Muslim so that you can be Islamophobic. Apparently, that's why. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
47, Melissa, and I voted for Trump.
And what state?
Utah.
Okay. Why are you still supporting Trump?
He's doing a pretty good job, I think.
With what?
Trying to pass the SAVE Act. Get
It's
that passed.
failed 3 times in the Senate.
But he's still trying. So
That's
I
not
think
doing a good
pretty
job. That's not doing a good job. That is a failed piece of legislation that he is desperately trying to make happen and will not happen. So what's he doing a good job on?
Like I said, he's trying to do the SAVE Act, which will help keeping voter fraud.
It has
keeping
failed 3
illegals
times.
from-
He is not
I don't
doing a good
care
job
that
on
it's
it.
failed.
So then he is
doing a good job. Doesn't
obviously
mean that
not. If the
Just 'cause he
legislation
failed doesn't mean that he's not doing the good job.
It does, because he has a Republican-held Congress. They have the majority in the House and in the Senate, and they cannot get
Paid
this
for
thing
Republicans,
passed.
yeah.
They cannot get this thing passed. That would be a bad job if your piece of legislation fails that many times.
No, doesn't mean that it's a bad job. It means
Does.
that he is attempting to try to do what is right.
Mhm.
And regardless of how he's doing it, or regardless of whether it's failed or not, doesn't mean that he's doing a bad job.
It does. What's in that bill?
Okay, but anyway. The voter ID,
What would be required?
you need to be a legal citizen.
What would be required to prove that?
You would need government issued licenses to prove that you are a legal, or documentation to prove you are a citizen.
Would a driver's license be enough to prove you're a U.S. citizen eligible for voting under the Save America Act?
I believe so.
Wrong. Read it again. You guys don't read it. You guys don't read it. I know you didn't read it that fast, so go read it. Okay. A driver's license is not enough for you to be able to vote under the Save America Act, which is why we oppose it. Because guess what? We already do that when you get your DMV and you register to vote now. That would be changing nothing. Congratulations. W's to Scarlett, please. W's to Scarlett for the $5 with the little gift emoji. Thank you so much, Scarlett. We love you and appreciate you in this community. And that brings me down to 19, guys. We are almost completed with that goal. Thank you so much to Omi Omai for that huge chunk. And thank you to all of you who support me, even with your dollar trains and $2 trains. I appreciate it so much. You guys still yelling? That devil dog, I'm going to let that comment through because I'm going to reference it. But you guys still arguing about evolution in the YouTube chat? By the way, somebody said they don't know what a bonobo is. It's, here. Enjoy your bonobo. It's bonobos. Bo-bo-bo-bo-bo. Bonobos. Devil dog. So the only difference between a hooker and a Democrat, a hooker will stop screwing you when you run out of money. Sweetheart, that's very cute that you stole that line from John Grisham. But you are using it incorrectly. In John Grisham's The Rainmaker, fantastic book, fantastic movie, if you've never seen it. It's a very, very, very young Matt Damon, and already old, even though he was probably younger, Danny DeVito, in The Rainmaker, one of my favorite movies. If you've never seen it, you should watch it or read the book. The actual line is the only difference between a hooker and a lawyer. A hooker will stop screwing you after you are dead. So maybe try to get that correct again next time. Good try, devil dog. That's cute. But anyway, back to Jesse Waters and the insanity in regards to the racism and the Islamophobia.
So yeah, he's going to mention Barack Hussein Obama. Part of that is just he likes to say Hussein.
Yeah.
But the other part of it,
he like to say Hussein?
because it's funny that the president's middle name was Hussein. You don't think that's hysterical?
No.
Okay, okay.
It's interesting.
It was the name of the dictator.
What's funny about that? Somebody explain to me what's funny about just saying his name, but emphasizing his middle name. Can anybody tell me?
Muslim.
Well,
which is why he says it, so that people still think that he's
so
Muslim.
problematic.
Well, he did say he was Muslim, and then he cleaned it up. Remember that NBC interview? He said, my Muslim faith. I don't know what he is. I don't care what he is. He's probably...
He's not.
You know what he is.
He is. I know. He's retired.
No God-fearing person would eat a dog.
Just racism. I told you, I was playing it just to prove a point. It's just racism. This is Tom Emmer. Tom Emmer is going to talk about Minnesota and that Minnesotans are afraid to get called racist. Maybe don't be racist.
Guess what? There is nothing racist about calling out a criminal. So when I say that...
There is, if you say all Somalis are criminals, that would be racist because you can't say all of them, right? Let's see the diversity in this crowd. White, 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 white. He's not white. White, white. He's not white. White, 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 white. He's not white. White, 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 white. Okay.
It's time. It's time. I mean, this is what they do in the great state of Minnesota. You know, our culture, that Scandinavian culture. By the way, I better make it clear before I go any farther. Minnesotans, are there any here? Ah, good. Then let me just say. Okay, well, born, yeah, you're wearing that hat. You must be from northern Minnesota, the Iron Range. No. Probably closer to Iowa. No.
I'm being racist? How?
I'm going to leave that alone. The reason I bring...
Gabriel, what city is that? You said the most dangerous city in America is indeed a democratic city. Which one?
Bring it up is because I tell people regularly, Minnesota did not create passive-aggressive behavior, but we did perfect it, okay? And I happen to be more on the aggressive side, which doesn't always work in Minnesota.
Tab, you said I'm counting the white people. No, I wasn't. I didn't count them. I just pointed them out.
Ralph will tell you, you know, sometimes...
Pointing out whites in a crowd. That's racist? Me, as a white woman, pointing out other white people in the crowd is racist? That's a white man! Tom Emmer is white.
Minnesotans are so afraid that you're going to call us a racist. You're going to call us an Islamophobe. You're going to...
Then stop acting like one.
Call us...
My point is that there's too many. Never said that. I just was saying what was the diversity in regards to talking about racism. Was there accurate representation for a bunch of white people to be talking about racism? I didn't say there were too many white people. That never came out of my mouth.
Some name that we just don't want to get into that fight. You know what? I would argue that I never did.
No, you can't be racist against your own race, and you can't be racist against white people. Keep crying harder. Keep crying harder. W's Mr. Flinch for the $5 super chat. He said, MAGA is in here spewing Fox News garbage talking points. Start providing evidence. Y'all can't be taken seriously. Please cite your sources. Mr. Flinch, I try every day. I try every day to get them to cite sources.
Care, but I am done being careful, even the least bit careful.
Gabrielle, you said Memphis, Tennessee is cited as the most dangerous city in America. And what kind of state is that? Find me a Republican city. They make those? Is that a thing? Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
18, Trump, and Florida.
Well, you didn't vote for Trump if you're 18, but you support him?
No, obviously.
No, obviously. Obviously, you didn't vote for him, but yes, you do support him.
I don't really know anything about politics.
Why'd you call in?
I don't know. I was wondering how your day was.
It's going pretty well. I would advise you, since you are 18, you guys have primary elections coming up in August, that I think you should probably look up who your congressperson is and whether they are up and vote in your primaries this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So-
You have a good day.
You too. Okay. He expected to get dropped quicker. I think so. I don't think he was ready for me to actually have a conversation with him. Oh, Tab. If I ever claimed my stream to be serious, you're watching the wrong stream. I have fun here.
And I don't really care where you come from. But if you come to this great country, you have to understand you're coming here to be.
The Democrats don't run the cities, right? So there will be city ordinances. So, Gabrielle, in Memphis, can you point me to a city ordinance that is causing an increase in crime and an increase in violent crime specifically? Because the reason I asked you about the state, right, is because you have state laws, which a lot of the times are going to supersede city ordinances. And you mentioned a city inside of a red state. Okay.
An American. We celebrate everyone's culture. We're happy with that, as long as you are.
Bro, the states they're in means nothing. You Democrats can't even run a city. Except that that's not true. It's obviously not true because you have Democratic cities inside of Democratic states that aren't on the list of dangerous cities, do you? But for some reason, the one you pointed out is a Democratic city inside of a Republican state. So obviously it does seem to matter because per your logic, Gabrielle, per your logic, if Democrats can't run their cities, it would mean Democrats can't run their states. Then the correlation would be the most dangerous cities would be Democratic cities inside of Democratic states. Why is that not the case?
An American. Celebrate your culture. I don't care. Italian, Polish, Somali. Okay?
That one was hard for him to say.
But they don't assimilate.
Did you know there are 42 states that don't allow cities to make gun laws? Tennessee is one of them. Shocker.
And if they don't assimilate, then they should go the hell back to where they came from.
What does assimilate mean? What does that mean? You can celebrate your culture, but also assimilate. What does that mean? It doesn't because you get a Democrat judge that is soft on crime. That's not true.
Sorry, Ralph. I know this is a family show. I can't help myself today. Yeah.
Can't help but be racist.
Can't
help it. Yeah, assimilate to them means white. I know what it means. We know what it means. All right, last one I have on that section is going to be our lovely anal polyp, Stephen Miller himself.
Wait. Mike DeWine, Stephen, the governor of Ohio. See, we know each other so well, I can just throw that.
Gabrielle, you know how I know you lost the argument, babe? You know how I know you lost the argument? You just said criminals vote Democrat. How would you ever quantify that? Can you cite that source for me? Cite me a source that a majority of criminals vote Democratic.
Name out and he starts laughing. Mike DeWine said we'll cease to have health.
Super Cal, you said it means be assimilated. Assimilated means be assimilated? You failed that course in school, didn't you?
Care workers in his state if you deport all those Haitians. So we'll have no health. We've never had healthcare workers in the country until we had Haitians.
So I'm just going to say this. If I have a loved one who's, this is going to be very politically incorrect, but if I have a loved one who's in the hospital in emergency medical care, I'm going to take the licensed American nurse, not the illegal alien from Haiti. That's just me.
All right, Stephen, it's great to see you. Wait.
We're bringing back Charlie Kirk talking points. It's great. It's great. Prove to me they have Democratic judges soft on crime. Prove all these things you're saying, Gabrielle. You seem to believe them, and you believe them with fervor or with passion, if you don't know what the word fervor means. We seem to be having issues with words today. Can you show me where that's true? They elect the Democrat leaders within the city where most of the crime is. What city ordinance is allowing the crime to happen? Prove to me that it's Democratic judges. Or, like my friends who live in Tennessee said, Tennessee doesn't allow the Democrats to create gun laws. Could it be that there's a rampant gun problem in Tennessee? It couldn't be that, could it? I forgot that I had this piece. And again, another loss for the Trump administration. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals just ruled 2-1 that ICE cannot detain people under the Trump administration's massive new detention policy for more than 90 days without affording them a bond hearing. Given the absence of any categorical justification for detention, unlike in Zadvidas, aliens who have been found to be removable, and more aliens who were convicted of criminal offenses, there is no reason to lengthen the period of time during which the validity of detention can be presumed. We conclude that the government may detain aliens under Section 1225B2A for 90 days, but no longer without a bond hearing. We described earlier the manner in which, by regulations, the government had made determinations on bond for individual detainees. C8 CFR 1236.1C8 initial decision. You can see all of these ones as well. We are not ordering any particular process, and it is for the defendants to determine in what manner to provide such a hearing within those 90 days. Failure to provide timely hearings might again lead to the involvement of district courts. Our only requirement is that a hearing must be held within 90 days of the commencement of detention, and that at the hearing, the government must articulate an individual's justification for further detention without bond. 2 such justifications already have judicial imprimatur, dangerousness, and flight risk, but we do not reject the possibility that the government may be able to assert another justification why an unadmitted alien must be detained. Again, losing in court, violating the Constitution, violating due process, the 5th and the 14th Amendment. Democrats make cities. I said that. City ordinances, Gabriel. I'm asking you to send me one. You have yet to do so. Erica, thank you so much again for the $5 super chat. You said assimilate means to become one. We become one as soon as your presence, is governed by the Constitution. Exactly. Has nothing to do with your culture, though. You are governed by the Constitution, and so you are one, and so you have assimilated. Has nothing to do with your culture. The First Amendment contains separation of church and state. It absolutely does. Just be smarter. Gabriel is just raging out, by the way. I just want you guys to know how bad he's raging out. All right. We have about 30 minutes left here, guys. As we sit here, I see we reached 200,000 likes over on TikTok. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. W's to you and the tapping. I know you guys have worked those fingers to the bone. I told you I was going to come back with a vengeance, and I did. So thank you guys so much for hitting 200,000 likes. I appreciate it. DJ Bookie does need a thumb splint now because of all the work that he's put in for me. I promise it benefits you in the long run. So thank you so much. I appreciate that, guys. We also have, what are these? Intimacy? That's the name of the gift. Is intimacy? It looks like a chili pepper hugging a French fry. I'm not sure. If we could get those accomplished, that would be great. Also, my gift gallery. It is the start of the week. Let's start getting my gift gallery accomplished. I would appreciate it so very much if we could do that over here on TikTok. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button for me. I would appreciate it very, 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 very much. It does help push us out onto the algorithm for today and the next day and the next day as we continue here. Thanks, Devil Dog. I did. W's to Surgeon over there on Twitch as well for the gifted tier 1 sub to, I'm guessing it's Hardened for Life. Thank you so much for the gifted sub over there. We appreciate that as well. All right. I have 30 minutes. What do I want to go over in 30 minutes? You know what? Seeing as the turbulence into Denver scared the absolute fuck out of me, let's talk about energy and hurricanes. This is Chris Wright. He was in front of Congress a couple weeks ago. And he was being asked about, is the weather getting worse, right? Are we having an intensity in our storms? And this was him talking about hurricanes specifically.
From last year when you testified before the House Committee on Appropriations saying the DOE Secretary lied to Congress, House Dems allege. I know that you've accused multiple members of this committee of being untruthful, so I want to make sure today that we're dealing in facts when we have this conversation. Do you remember in 2025 making a statement saying you hear all the time in the news that tornadoes are getting worse and hurricanes are worse and floods and droughts and storms, they're more frequent and larger in magnitude, but that is simply untrue. Did you say that, Mr. Secretary?
I'm sure I did.
Okay, and so it's your argument that hurricanes and floods in this country and
Also, why is he yelling?
across the globe are not getting worse.
That's correct. That's what the data shows.
But study after study has shown that human-caused ocean warming has intensified all 11 Atlantic hurricanes in 2024. Climate change made Hurricane Milton hit as a Category 3 instead of a Category 2. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I can walk you through where we've had 500-year storm after storm after storm in the past 7 years. As the Secretary of Energy, you're telling me today that you don't believe that hurricanes and floods are getting worse in this country.
They just simply aren't. I published that data and stuff written by me. It's in the...
That data... I want to repeat that again.
You don't believe that hurricanes and floods are getting worse in this country.
They just simply aren't. I published that data and stuff written by me.
I published that data and stuff written by me. That's convincing. I published that data and stuff written by me. Okay.
It's in the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change reports. Look at the U.S. hurricane data. We have 125 years of data, no increase in hurricanes, no increase in the average intensity of hurricanes. What you're talking about is these attribution studies, which are just non-scientific. These are things that could happen. Yes,
I want to extend a personal invite to you to come down to Houston, Texas, and to tell the families of the folks.
Oh, my internet's fucking freaking out now. I saw it because my Discord reset.
Who are victims of Hurricane Harvey and the other major storms where flooding hit Houston in a way that it never hit it before, that these floods and hurricanes are not getting worse.
Tell me where the storms are not getting worse. What? All right. Then they start talking to him about solar and how solar is cheaper, and he just refuses to acknowledge that.
So
I'm soft on crime, Gabriel. Gabriel's still just like losing his shit. You guys are anti-American. I'm not. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't conversate about American politics if I was anti-American. I just wouldn't bother. I want open borders. No, I actually don't. And that I'm soft on crime. I am not within the law enforcement agencies, or the judicial system. So how am I soft on crime?
The problem of hydrogen...
I didn't vote for a felon.
Hubs in California is expensive.
I didn't vote for a civilly liable sexual assaulter.
Electricity to go in.
I didn't vote for a civilly liable fraudster.
The problem of hydrogen hubs in California is expensive electricity to go into them. The proposal was...
You want to defund the police, have open borders. You people are clearly anti-American. I never said that. I never said that.
To use renewable electricity on the grid to create
Which
hydrogen.
is the cheapest form of energy now, technically. Sunshine, daylight sunshine is the cheapest form of energy available to humans, a word that you like using a lot today. And that is an incontrovertible fact, Mr. Secretary. Is it a fact? It is true.
It is not a fact.
The truth is that the cheapest form on a per unit basis right now is daytime solar. Is that not true?
It depends how you do
No,
the
it
math.
doesn't depend.
But
It is true.
Why does it depend?
It is not.
Are the Secretary of Energy.
It is funny because, yes, the big, beautiful bill did defund the police. That's true.
Utilization is that.
Then who are you talking to, Gabrielle? You're just talking into the ether? This is my show. You're talking to me.
Too low for it. You can't deploy capital and only have 24% utilization.
You are amazingly misleading the American public. The cheapest form of energy right now is daytime solar on a per unit basis.
It all depends how you measure
No,
it. In any
it does not depend.
any
It doesn't.
rational way to measure
I'm
it,
gonna
the
move
answer is
on.
no.
Mr. Secretary, let's look at the structural reality of the current conflict in Iran. And I'm really disappointed with your answer because that is not true. And I depend on you for facts, and you are a factual person.
You have to define the question.
It's my time.
It doesn't come from my party, Gabriel. I don't know how many times I have to fucking tell you all this. I'm a registered independent, goddamn it, because Colorado allows me to vote in the primary ballots as a registered independent. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I don't know how many times. And then, do we remember, because we covered it here, do you remember when Chris Wright tweeted that a ship went through the Strait of Hormuz? And then he later said, no, oops, we deleted it and it was a staffer. Do we remember that? Well, at least he's finally admitting that it wasn't true.
But you tweeted in March that the U.S. Navy had successfully escorted an oil tanker through the Strait of Hormuz to ensure oil remains flowing to the global markets. Was that true?
No. That was an error. It was not tweeted by me, but it was by my team that
In March.
misunderstood something I said, but I take responsibility.
It's not, though. Misunderstood something he said. He said it here in Colorado. He said it.
Responsibility for it.
What did you say to the team that they misunderstood?
I gave a talk in Colorado about the state of energy and what was going on in the Strait of Hormuz. I said we will restore flows of oil to the Strait of Hormuz using the U.S. Navy if necessary.
Makes this honest mistake. But the reason I bring that up is because yesterday you just said that in the Strait of Hormuz, traffic was rising very meaningfully. Is that true? And what does meaningfully mean to you?
That is true.
Obviously, this is old because we're at war again.
We are not talking overly about it, but this is using the U.S. military to increase flows of oil out of the Strait of Hormuz, and things are going well.
I'd like to talk a little bit more detail, though, at least more than the word meaningfully. Like, what would you consider meaningful? Like, are we talking about many ships? Are we talking about one ship? Because the IMF Port Watch seems to indicate that it hasn't actually increased meaningfully.
That would be incorrect. That data would be incorrect.
Okay, so you have data that shows that there's been a significant increase in the number of ships going through the Strait of Hormuz that would supply the rest of the world with oil.
That's correct.
And these are not Iranian ships. These are ships that would supply us and our allies with oil. But you can't go into detail about exactly how many or what meaningfully means. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and then.
And again, this was old. Yes, Jay Bunkie. The U.S. it's open for us, but it's not open for anybody else, according to Trump, who is now talking about charging tolls, which he can't do. But, you know. And then this is an interaction. It's 3 minutes long, but it's a very, very good interaction. This is Miss Sykes having a conversation with Chris Wright about that Iran war and how Donald Trump speaks about it. And Chris Wright says he's speaking about it casually.
Let me ask you this other question. Are you aware that the United States was taking millions of barrels of
It is funny, isn't it, Law? I played them in sequence today. Showed Donald Trump saying it on Fox, Donald Trump's Then Truth, and Marco Rubio from a month ago saying they can't do that.
Gasoline from Iran in the Strait of Hormuz?
We are preventing the flow of Iranian oil through the Strait of Hormuz.
That is not the question that I just asked you. Were you aware that the United States has been taking millions of gallons of oil from the Strait of Hormuz?
Just not sure taking is the right word. We're preventing the flow of it.
Well, thank you. Mr. Chair, if I may, can I play some audio from some comments that President Trump made in the Oval Office? Okay.
The numbers were great.
I don't think we've heard this.
I love the inflation.
By the way, Matt, you keep saying weather-related deaths continue to go down year after year. You are correct. Is that because of the storms or is that because of the warning systems, Matt? Are the storms getting better and less strength, or is it because of the warning systems, Matt? Okay.
Mr. Chair, if I may, can I play some audio from some comments that President Trump made in the Oval Office? Okay.
The numbers were great.
I don't think we've heard this.
I love the inflation. You know why? Because as soon as this war is over, I can say it now. Something you didn't know. Do you know we've been taking out
Let's suspend
millions
that,
of barrels
please.
of oil. Nobody knows it. You know who doesn't know about it? Iran until right now.
Mr. Secretary, it seems like you didn't know about this either. So why would the United States be taking out millions of barrels of oil from Iran?
Well, it's essential that we prevent oil sales from generating revenue for Iran to spend to develop nuclear weapons and oppress
Mr. Secretary, I understand this might be an uncomfortable line of questioning and you don't want to do it, but you are not answering my question. So I'm going to ask you again, and I'm going to hope that you will answer it honestly. Did you know that the United States was taking millions of gallons of oil from Iran?
I'm unaware.
So do you think that the president is lying based on the audio that you just heard? And I will send it to you in case you say you didn't hear it.
Oh, no, I do not think the president's lying. I think the president's talking casually about our efforts to stop the flow of Iranian oil. And
war
we're
is
stopping
casual?
those tankers
Do you think that it is appropriate to talk casually about war?
I think you talk to all different audiences and you talk in all different styles.
What? He's talking casually. Just casually talking. About war. Where people die. Matt, Matt, you said I'd say the storms are less deadly. Can you prove that to me with any kind of evidence, with data, please?
But I don't have any serious objection to what he said.
You don't have any serious objection for someone talking about war casually? Do you have that objection? There are 13 service people who are dead. There are hundreds more that are injured, but we should be talking about war casually.
He treats this war deadly serious, and he has worked tirelessly on this war.
Mr. Secretary, you just said that
it.
he was speaking casually about this. He
speaks 20 hours a day. He speaks 20 hours a day in different styles for different audiences.
He is the President of the United States of America. He is the Commander-in-Chief who is responsible for 13 service members who have died and hundreds more who are injured. So you mean to say to me, testifying in front of this committee in the United States House of Representatives, that it is appropriate for the Commander-in-Chief to talk about war casually?
He speaks candidly, openly, and honestly. I think all of America benefits from that.
Well, I appreciate your attempt to protect your boss and to keep your job, but let me be very clear with you. It is not appropriate to talk about war casually.
She did. She gagged the fuck out of him. She really did. She got his ass. Like, nice try. Well, the casual. Oh, war is casual. No, he's serious about war. That's not. I would never. No. All right. This is Representative or Amo, Mr. Amo, talking to Chris Wright about grants in regards to Department of Energy and those grants and how they have been withheld and given out.
Sued DOE over their partisan award terminations, and in the litigation you said, quote, a primary reason for the selection of which DOE grant termination decisions were included in the October 2025 notice tranche was whether the grantee was located in a blue state. That is a direct quote. I ask unanimous consent to enter this document into the record.
So ordered.
The court rightfully found that you violated the Constitution. The only meaningful difference between the 7 projects that won in court and the hundreds of others you terminated is that those plaintiffs sued. So, Secretary Wright, my question is simple.
So what he's referencing is they canceled hundreds of projects that Congress approved funding for per the Department of Energy, and they canceled those projects, a lot of them politically. We talked about one right before I left, actually. There's a tunnel project in New York that they tried to cancel, and a judge just ruled final that you have to give the funding for this, and this project will continue forward. There is nothing else left for you to do but to continue the funding. So they are losing in court. So what he's talking about is of the hundreds that they have canceled, they have had some come back because they chose to sue. So again, violating the Constitution in way of what Congress has allocated.
Will you restore the funding for all the projects that were wrongfully terminated?
So, number one, you even read the document. Or misinterpreted the document. We did not involve politics in the decision-making of our review process. Hands down.
Explain 95%, Secretary.
Did not. You also were creative. You talked about 2 different 95%. We did not involve politics in the decisions. What
about the outcomes, Mr. Secretary?
The court ruling you read was a choice of announcements of some of the awards. The choice of the announcements, not made by our department. No decisions were made on politics. I keep hearing that charge. So it's bullshit. We're going to say it a million times.
Mr. Secretary.
It's upsetty.
Not true.
I've got a point of parliamentary procedure. Are we permitting language like that from witnesses?
Watch your language here, Mr. Secretary, but let's keep this.
Will do, sir.
Please.
Mr. Secretary, here's the problem with your administration. You're willing to huff and puff when it comes to showing up in front of Congress when your audience of one is paying attention. But the fact of the matter is my constituents and the constituents of people across this Congress are struggling because of your decisions, and yet you want to use language like that, act out of hand, behave poorly, so you can prove that you have loyalty to the president. That's not how this works. Do your job. Do your job and work to lower costs for the American people. Instead, you want to pick at statistics instead of working for people in every single state, whether it's a blue state or a red state. So my question for you, as my time is rapidly expiring, when will you restore these grants?
We work every day we've gone overboard for New England, for California, for blue states.
That's not an answer. I'm reclaiming my time.
Your assertions
Mr. Secretary,
are incorrect.
I'm reclaiming my time. That's not an answer. Do you believe the federal grant decision should be based in any way on how a state's voters cast their ballots in a presidential election?
They shouldn't, and they weren't.
Except that we see that they are. We have seen it with the Department of Energy. We have seen it with FEMA. We are seeing where grants are being canceled for blue states and being funded for red states at a disproportionate level. We are seeing that. Whereas their funding used to be parallel. You can see it at the charts, right? I want to do this, but let's just pretend my hand's going this way. You have funding for Democratic states, you have funding for Republican states, and they were pretty parallel. And they were increasing the amount of funding being given because inflation and the dollar gets more expensive. But it was going up at a parallel rate. Now, all of a sudden, the Democrat funding is going this way and the Republican funding is going this way. And it's not political?
Mr. Secretary, this hearing started with Trump's promise to lower energy costs. Instead, you've bloviated. We've got to end this nonsense. I yield back.
The gentlelady.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the last one I have is Mr. Amo again speaking to Chris Wright on cutting energy prices. Because remember, we're supposed to be everything's going to go down. If you vote for me for president day one, I'll get your groceries down. I'll get your energy costs down. Everything's going to go down. And again, as we've seen, where is that? Ooh, it jumped up even from the start of the show. We were... Oof. Because we were like 74 when I started the show. We're at 77 crude per barrel. Let me see what the stock market's doing. Oops. Oops. Oop-de-boop-de-boop. But yeah, not lowering cost at all.
I will rapidly drive down prices, and we will make America affordable again. We're going to get your energy prices down by 50%. Secretary Wright, has Donald Trump fulfilled his promise?
He sets ambitious targets, and he is all in on driving in that direction.
Oh, he's driving in that direction. That's not what he campaigned on, but he's driving in that direction. Okay. I mean, I'm glad he's not driving in the other direction. It doesn't seem like he's driving in that direction either if you're starting a war with Iran. It doesn't seem like you were driving in that direction.
The number of structural changes he's made in how we view energy and what we're doing will absolutely over time deliver that goal.
Like what? And over what period of time?
Okay, so the answer is no.
Not yet.
And you know, well, you can...
Oh, you guys can't see them. Hold on. Sorry.
Driving in that direction, and the number of structural changes he's made in how we view energy and what we're doing will absolutely over time deliver that goal.
Okay, so the answer is no.
Not yet.
And you know, well, you can waffle all you want, but the American...
Not yet. Well, it's 2026.
People know the truth. They can feel it in their wallet every time they fill up at the gas pump, every time their energy bills come in the mail. Look, Rhode Islanders, the people I work for, have spent an additional $288 on heating oil and an extra $350 at the gas pump since Trump launched his war of choice with Iran. And I know...
And let's not forget tariffs. On top of it, tariffs for energy from Canada.
This might sound strange to someone who has made tens of millions of dollars in oil and gas, but my constituents cannot afford $638 of a Trump surcharge to heat their homes and to drive their cars.
So, no answer from Chris Wright. As per usual, we're not shocked. They lied about bringing costs down. Shocker. I don't know that I have anything funny. God, I'm so sick of TikTok playing automatically. It's very irritating. It's very, very irritating. Do I have? No. In my reposts? Maybe.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, but not everybody is. That's really a problem. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. My rights are slightly being taken away right now, and I proudly stand up next to her and defend her still today. Except she's hard to defend right now. She's been a little bit of a bad friend and a bitch, and there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the U.S., which is hard to say a little bit right now because I'm not really sure London's better. And I'm proud to be.
Her vocals were vocalizing. Call peak inflation so I can short the economy. Well, Donald Trump doesn't like people who short the economy. Haven't you seen that? He's been very, very mad about that. You're betting against America. Like, so are volatility traders, and you don't yell at them. Like, that's what they do. Oh, God. Yay. Explosive diarrhea cases. We love that. All right. Who are we rating? Who's on? Who's on to be rated? So I'm tired. I see that we couldn't completely complete my goal. We got very, 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 very close. So there was 19 left, and so I appreciate that. We did get close today. Just edging me. It's rude. It's just rude. It's just rude of you to edge me like this. Let's see. We can tack it on and see if we get it tonight. True. Speaking of, as we're sitting here, guys, you guys get double me. Because in general, because I have to do my collaborations with my boss because I love her. But Wednesday, I will not be here Wednesday. I might try to go live later in the day on Wednesday, but I will not be here at my normal time or early on Wednesday. My kids have their just yearly doctor's appointment, so I will not be here on Wednesday. But tonight, you get double me. I will be on with Ari. So if you're watching on Twitch and YouTube, it's going to be Mermaid Ari 0. Okay. And if you're watching on TikTok, it's Ari. If you're not following her, it's Mermaid Ari. What are you doing? And we will be on 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. That would be 4 p.m. Pacific. And we will be on trying to talk to Trump supporters. That's what we're going to do tonight. So you'll get to have double me, but make sure that you're following Ari, okay? Because that is whose platform we will be on. I will notify in the Discord with the links for you guys to go and watch, but make sure that you guys do that, okay? That you guys come out and support tonight. We need it. We need the support. Mia. That's not... W's to Mia for the $19, finishing off the goal. Mia said, I just wanted to finish you off like the good human I am. And it's the, like, demon smiling face. I do love when you finish me off. I've missed you. No, I've missed you so much. So W's to Mia. I don't know what she did, but W. W's to Mia for that. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do, it's what I like to do on Twitch and YouTube. So I think I'm going to send you guys to RTP because I think it's just a good education for you, to be honest. Like it really just is. So over here on Twitch, I'm going to set you up. Over here on YouTube, I'm going to set you guys up so that you can go and actually get more facts. I know you guys have trouble with that, but have fun with it. They will eat you up. The mods will eat you up. I promise you that. I'd have to send $18.95. You would have just to get to me. So thank you, Twitch. Thank you, YouTube. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever time that is for you. Thank you guys so much for supporting. Make sure you set your thumbs up over on YouTube before I leave. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, let me get them rated.